stand. I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold, every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up high, voice up loud. Same old pride, same crowd. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Yeah. Ooh. Blue till the end, blue till the end. Loyalty stays even through the storm. From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold, every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome for another edition of the Blue Morning Show. I do hope you're all doing well. We have quite a lot lined up to talk about. We'll talk about Chelsea signing Pep Chavarria, what he brings to the table, get to learn a lot about him from his former teammates, managers, and then we'll talk about Enzo Fernández possibly joining Manchester City if they sell Rodri, and then we'll talk about Malo Gusto possibly joining Paris Saint-Germain or maybe Manchester City. Talk about what's his name again? The two French guys in Accra, the Sicilian, Benoit Petitgile, and we'll also talk about rumors that our manager is interested in Arsenal's Martin Zubimendi. But without wasting much of your time, follow me and let's get into the show. And the first thing we do, because we keep it interactive here, I will look at see what those of you that are already in the channel, I think just one person, say hello to you and acknowledge you being the first person to make it here. And also, hopefully, I'll get one or two more panelists to join me here so you can get diversified opinion. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And also do subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. So what do we have? I'm not sure what you're saying there. All right, let's see. Being quite on terms in terms of being quiet in times of outgoing, in terms of outgoings, yeah, maybe behind the scenes. We're moving mad, I told you, and you say we are working behind the scenes. I think, and I guess that it's Coach, you know what we're doing. Okay, I do believe we're doing a lot behind the scenes, and hopefully there are clubs interested in buying those players that I know you're referencing without even mentioning their names, because you can't sell players that clubs aren't interested in purchasing. It's really that simple. But hopefully we're hearing Badia Shile could be joining. Is it what club again? Aston Villa, correct me from Crystal Palace, maybe. Badia Shile to Napoli and all that. And Sean Abiona, thank you for joining. I guess Robert Sanchez will be our #1 goalkeeper. Here's the thing: you guys are making a mistake. We're not certain what's going to happen, and something I want to remind you guys is this: even if we're looking to sign another goalkeeper, I don't think the manager will blatantly during a press interview or anything tell you, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I don't think the goalkeepers we have are good enough. I think we're looking to sign a new goalkeeper. He will never do that. He will never do. He'd be stupid to tell you that. What if at the end of the day we have a certain goalkeeper in mind, push to sign that particular goalkeeper, and end up not being able to sign that particular goalkeeper? Then you'd be in trouble. Then you'd be stuck with one who's you've already made to believe that, yeah, you don't trust. Then you've created a problem for yourself. So I don't think he'd ever, any sensible, intelligent manager will never during a press conference tell you, yeah, we're looking to sign another goalkeeper. Then that manager is an idiot. So, and as I've said before, Sanchez not bad, and with a better defensive line, I think he'd do a lot better. And if you doubt me, let me give you a little bit of assignment to go do on your own. Go to the FOTMob app. Find all those games we lost last season and look at them. Find the minutes where we considered and go to the commentary tab. You'd see that nearly all the games we lost them down to us having a bad defensive line, not necessarily because we have a bad goalkeeper. Not too many of them were down to goalkeeping errors. So for me, which tells you if we have a better defensive line, our goalkeeper probably going to do a lot better in Robert Sanchez or maybe Mike Pendas. You just need to protect them very well. And if you simplify the approach in terms of not playing too much from the back, I think you're not going to see him make a lot of mistakes, because that's where he makes mistakes. He's improved. He has one critical skill that goalkeepers in the Premier League should always have, which is the ability to command your box and orchestrate high claims, which will help you deal with set piece situations. He's improved in that aspect very well, and that helped us quite a lot. So, and his experience, they say goalkeepers age like fine wine, so I wouldn't want to lose him. If anything, if we get an opportunity to sign any good goalkeeper that we believe is better than him, I don't think we'd hesitate. And that's my opinion anyway. Big up to you too, Wendy. Thank you for joining the conversation. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. But more importantly, always nice to see you, my Ghanaian bro. No Brani Lufuino. I hope I did not butcher your last name. We have good signings, so we need to do better than last season. More importantly, we made signings that the managers want. Hopefully he gets to put them to good use. I believe that's the case. And something that makes me happy is that all the signings were strategic. We weren't just signing players as we did last season when we signed last transfer window, we signed about 2-3 players because, yeah, the opportunities to sign them did present itself. It was just we made some opportunistic signings last transfer window, but this time we're making signings that the manager wants, signings that even before their arrival, you could tell what problems they will help us solve. That makes me very happy. It won't be easy, so we need to also be prepared to be patient in case things don't click. But another thing, if you have not been paying attention, there's a pattern to the players we were signing these days. They were all winners. They've all won one trophy or the other, except for the exception of Chavarria. Talk about Maxence Lacroix. He won 3 trophies at Crystal Palace. Talk about Marco Palestra, won the Europa League, correct me if I'm wrong. Jordan Henderson, he's won plenty of trophies. What's his name also? Danny Welbeck, he's one of few. Am I missing any other name there? I think with the exception of Pep Chavarria, but I'm definitely missing one name. I can't quite put my finger on which one of them. But CFC 2015, El Mara, thank you for joining. Yep, up the charts indeed. And my bro, Drew, is in the house. Drew, always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate your support and always tuning in to make sure we are growing. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 9 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that. 29 people following the show on YouTube. If we add one more, if half of you like the video, we'd have at least 10 likes. All right. I believe, yep, we will challenge next season. It's possible, but I'm being cautiously optimistic. I'm not saying we'll be bad. We'll do well. How well, I don't know yet. But I don't think we'll struggle like we did last season. And last season, had it not been Maresca leaving us mid-season, I don't think we would have finished 10th. So even though it'd be accurate to say we had defensive issues, but the manager leaving created a chaos in the dressing room. Valentin Barco also coming in, but I don't remember him winning any. Has he won any? Has he? But at least a good signing for me, and I like him. I know him well enough to know that he'd do well. And as I've said before, hopefully we'll. And I think the manager haven't heard the manager say we have good enough balance. I take his words for it. I'm not going to complain. I like Valentin Barco. We're not signing him to be, you could say, all our players are not vertically challenged. I think we have a good balance now. If you looked at all the other players we've signed, I think 90% of them are 6 foot plus. But big up to you too, Tawan. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Without wasting much of your time, I think we're going to start addressing the items we have lined up, and we'll use our presentation window. We are winning the league according to Tawan. I hope we do. I can't say that now, but I do know definitely we're going to do a lot better than we did last season. All right. Chavarria played in the Conference League final versus Lacroix, but they didn't win it. But yeah, but I wouldn't say but every other player we signed won one trophy or the other. So I'm just gonna stick with he's still an exception, if we're being honest. But I like him. He has that Cucurella shithousery, and but he's more technically gifted. You could argue, I wouldn't say more aggressive than Cucurella. I need to see him up close before making that conclusion. I just don't want to throw something out of my wazoo at you and say, yeah, that's certainly the case. I'm not that sort of person. But yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Question already. Do you like Mike Penders leaving Chelsea like Georgi Petrovic? No, I think he's better equipped than Petrovic. I think he's a better shot stopper than Petrovic, better on the ball than Petrovic. I think the only thing he the only aspect that I'd like him to improve is his ability to command his box and also improve his high claim output. I think he will eventually, because that's a very critical skill for goalkeepers in the Premier League. And we have goalkeeper trainers who are definitely aware of that. So they'd help him improve in that aspect. And he's a very tall player. Once he gets into it, I don't think any team scores against us from set piece, because he's really, the kid is really tall. And he's brave, more importantly. But yeah, it's a matter of time. I think he gets better, and I'm happy that he's willing to be patient and slug it out with Robert Sanchez, or maybe get a chance to prove that he's a better overall goalkeeper than Sanchez is. So yeah, I like him really. Yep. Welcome to the mighty Chelsea Chavarria. Hope you cook. I think he will cook. Strategic signing there. Good scouting work. Look how much we paid for him. 16 point something million pounds. If anything, I don't think it's up to 17 million pounds. And he made the La Liga team of the season. Yep, that also for me reflects how good he is. But that's by the way. Let's go to the presentation window. Did I open it? Do I have it open, or have I made a mistake? Okay, we will cover in the presentation window. We will have items that we had lined up for yesterday's stream, but the system crashed. Not blue screen, because we have a lot of stuff installed, a lot of bells and whistles, I like to call them. It led to the system crashing, and the intro music was playing for nearly 30 minutes without I being able to fix it, so I had to shut it down. But we're back today, and we're learning a lot more. I'm not going to buy any other system anytime soon, new system anytime soon, but we're learning more and more what to take off of the system just to use it strictly for live streaming. So Ryan Kavuma McQueen to Portsmouth, and this says Portsmouth, is that how you pronounce it? This is according to Nizar Kinsella, Portsmouth are growing confident of signing Chelsea winger Ryan Kavuma McQueen on loan. Portsmouth's growing confident. Yep, 2 points there. The deal will be a loan from Chelsea, no option for a permanent purchase. And right now, we've started official. Now, please keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I will assume you're having a good conversation with a community member and skip your comment. I hope our manager will put Cole Palmer in his right position, that he plays well, than being a winger. Number 10 is his right position. Is he really? In his debut season for Chelsea, what position did he play? But I'm gonna highlight that so we can talk about it later on. All right, I'm gonna move to the next item. Give me a second here. Let me check something quickly. I'm gonna move to the next item we have here so we can continue the show. What? Looks like I've made a mistake here. Give me a second. But as you wait for me to get my stuff together, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I want to fix this quickly. I hope I've shared. Give me a second. Did I not? What's wrong with this? I just want to make sure that I shared the link to the panel so you guys can get diversified opinion, okay? I'll come back to that. Yeah, it's a good. I mean, it'd be a good move for him if he eventually joins them. This reads Ryan Kavuma McQueen is a talent. He will gain a good experience at Portsmouth, and I think he gets to play too. He gets to play because they want him, and these days we don't just give clubs our players on loan without having them agree to some sort of clause that if the player ends up not playing a certain amount of game, they pay us a hefty fine, which motivates them to get the player to play. But these days, I think I've said this before, I'd rather we sell our player young players to championship clubs and just put a buyback clause and the first refusal thing, which I quite I don't quite understand how it works, but those are clauses that ensure if the player thrives and does very well, you can always get him back at your you could say at a given fixed price. Yeah, at a given price or maybe fixed price, which makes sense. We don't just once again we don't just send our players on loan without ensuring they get to play. Give me a second here. All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Fix, I thought I had shared the link. I didn't know I didn't. But I think now I did. Let me be sure. Yep, there you go. I did. So I'm going to close out that window. I don't want it to just slow down my system unnecessarily. So this is the window we're using here. And please, once again, keep the topics aligned. If you want me to read your comment, make sure it's aligned with the current topic. Well, actually, the presentation system, were implementing something that will only highlight topics, automatically highlight comments that are aligned with the current topic. But that will mean we need a producer too. All right. Good evening to you too, Beniza. Nice to see you. How are you? I can't complain. If Enzo Fernández doesn't want to stay, please, Chelsea should be selling him and go for Alex Scott. It's up to the manager. And Enzo Fernández, there's no guarantee he leaves. There's also no guarantee he stays. It's at the moment, I'd say 50-50. You understand? So, but let's see what happens. And if you haven't, please drop a like on the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Kishore, nice to see you, my New York bro. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. So let's see. Next item. All right, Zhao Pedro. According to according to Chelsea LC, João Pedro has shared some insight into his relationship with Danny Welbeck because they played together at Brighton, and not just Brighton, I think some other club too. João says that personally, Danny is a very important person for him in life. When João came to England, he didn't speak English, but Danny always tried to be around him to support him and help him develop. This will now be the third time that they have played together. João thinks that, as Danny did with him in the past, he will give support to everyone in the squad. He says that Danny is very helpful and wants the best for everyone around him and for the team. Everyone knows that he is a top player, and João is looking forward to playing alongside him again. So the point is, João Pedro says Danny is a very important person for him. They played. This will be the third club where they're playing together. Danny helped João develop when he arrived in England without speaking English. This will be the third time the pair have played together. João Pedro describes Danny as a top player, and once again, leadership in the dressing room, on the pitch. I think that was a very, very, very Danny Welbeck, a very strategic sign in my opinion. I think a lot of us believe that that's the case. I think he will help the squad a lot. We will have a more mature team on the pitch, not an entire level of kids on the pitch, yellow cards flying here and there. But I'm not saying that definitely means we're not going to be, you could say, conceding yellow cards like we did last season, because most of them did was down to us, the way the players apply themselves on the pitch. But I think there will be a slight difference in the number of yellow cards would end up conceding this season. But that's why I'm happy we signed Danny Welbeck. And I have my bro in the chat in Tebehu. Big up to you, Tebeho. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. Always nice to see you. He played with him at Watford and Brighton. Yeah, so, yeah, thank you for that, for mentioning the name of the third club there. What do we have here? More likes, people, more likes. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Oluwa Rokami Tamidayo. Look, Kems, nice to see you. Big up Kuchila and everyone. Always nice to see you, my bro. I do hope you're doing well. Yeah, please, let's get the likes up, people. We need more likes. If you're enjoying the show, drop a like on the video to help us garner more likes. All right, next item, let's go. Also, a lot of comments from the manager during his press for our game against AC Milan tomorrow. We'll get to that in a bit. I think we're not going to use the presentation window for that one in particular. We'll go to Vincent's timeline, my go-to, my bro on X. According to reports, Chelsea are set to demand £17 million from Manchester City for Pedro Neto. We've heard that City are interested in signing Pedro Neto should they lose, is it Savino, the Brazilian, to Tottenham, and we're not pushing to sell him, but we're saying if you want to sign him, that's how much you'd bring to the table before we even listen to you. That makes me happy because I want him, in my opinion, I want him to stay. He's a very experienced player. If he doesn't play well, we have capable players to bring on that will come in this place and do a better job. Chelsea said the points are Chelsea said to demand £17 million for Pedro Neto. Manchester City are the interested club. Information is according to reports. We're not sure whether that's the case, but Fabrizio seemed to Fabrizio, you can say, response to a particular report from a City account, not report, maybe post from a City account, suggests that, yeah, they are in fact interested in signing Pedro Neto. But to be clear, that the report or whatever you've seen out there, all from City's perspective, nothing have said that Chelsea are looking to sell Pedro Neto. We're just saying, if you're really interested, this is how much you bring to the table before we even listen to you. All right, let's see. You guys always fight over that all the time. All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see. Okay. You know, slug it out with him. So Pedro Neto to Manchester City. I think we're loaded, but I'd rather we keep one of our most experienced players. I get it. A lot of Chelsea fans don't rate him. But if this is going to be helpful, you go take your time, look at his numbers, the 25-26 season, then maybe you'd start respecting him. But I get it. There was a period where he was didn't do well in multiple games, consecutive games actually. Was hardly ever wasn't able to beat his man consistently. And Dante, in his opinion, thinks believes it was because he was deployed on the left hand side, and usually when that's the case, he doesn't do well. But that's by the way. We move on to the next item we have lined up here, and that's about PSG move for Chelsea's Malo Gusto. According to the Sun Football, Paris Saint-Germain eye a shock transfer suit for Malo Gusto. The report states that Chelsea are holding out for £75 million. For me, the valuation, in my opinion, is another way of saying we're not looking to sell him. But if you feel like you can get us to sell him, bring £75 million to the table. I mean, I wouldn't mind him staying. We could still have him. Marco Palestra and Reece James. Reece James, I don't think probably will play a lot as a wing back under Alonso. Would probably see him sometimes in the midfield or in the right center back position. I wouldn't mind Gusto staying, but if he wants to leave, we've heard it. If you're one of the interested club, you'd have to bring £75 million to the table before we begin talks. All right, we have 5 wingers coach, and Morgan Rogers can play as a winger too. So we still need to offload. So who should we offload? So that makes sense. That's why I said even if he leaves, we'll have other players that will come in his place and do even better. I wouldn't let what's his name, the kid we signed from Sporting CP. I wouldn't let Kenda go because of Pedro Neto. No. Kenda is more equipped than Pedro Neto, a better dribbler. You can say the more intelligent of the two players, in my opinion. So I'd rather Kenda staying and him leaving. So We're not pushing him out, but let's see how the club handles that situation, really. And we have wingers, not all of them, let's be honest here. We have, how many wingers you mentioned? Not all of them are able to operate as wing backs. Yeah, and you could argue that's another difference, or another critical difference that people should pay attention to when deciding whether we should let, what's his name, Neto go or Kenda go. Both can stay. Kenda is excellent at fulfilling the wing back role. Pedro, not so much. From what I know, maybe that was a time in his career he did that consistently, but I don't remember. So we can actually keep both, but I'll just let the club handle it. It's a good problem to have, in my opinion. All good players, I must say. You're not doing well. What's happening to you, man? Okay, you're having a conversation with. Okay, hit me up. But sorry to hear that you're not doing well. Let's see. More likes, people. More likes. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. 19 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that. And okay, waiting for. All right, I shouldn't be highlighting that. Gittins, Misha, Rogers, Neto, Kenda, and Estevao. It looks like Misha might end up going out on loan if we're to believe reports we've addressed in recent shows, suggesting but we're just taking it slowly to ensure we get him a club where he gets to play. And we're hearing Lampard's club are interested in taking him on loan. I don't know whether to believe that or not, but something came to mind when I read that. That's because when Lampard took over as an interim manager at Chelsea, he didn't really give him good opportunities, actually. And I think he did say something, I can't quite remember, that suggests he didn't trust him. I'm not sure. I could be mixing things up here. So let me not just tell you that, yeah, something, and then I'm certain. More likes, 20 likes. Yes, the likes are going up. Let's get the likes up even more. All right, let's see. I need to do this, turn on the banner as quickly as possible. This one here, yeah. All right, next item, let's see. All right, Pep Chavarria, finally a Chelsea player, and the announcement already leaked on a Korean website. That's very funny, because when I saw it, I thought, oh, we already announced him. It turned out it wasn't by Chelsea, it was leaked. But that's, by the way, these things happen. But according to transfer guru Fabrizio Romano, Pep Chavarria is on his way to England today. He is traveling for his medical tests, okay, and the contract signings at Chelsea. So 3 points, Pep Chavarria is on his way to England. Medical tests are scheduled. Contract signing at Chelsea, and we signed him for just 16. Is this more than 16 million? But let's just stick 16 million, not bad, even if it's 16.5 million or so. I can't quite remember the exact number. Sorry, I hate throwing numbers at people out of my wazoo. But that's, by the way, I'm happy. Excellent signing at the price that we got him for. If we signed him as a replacement for Marco Correa, then dang it, we have done a really, really good job there, because he's a very, very good player. He has that some similarities to Marco Correa. He has that ability to unsettle even the best players in world football, just like Cucurella. He has that, you could argue, I think it'd be accurate to say, shithousery. That in Cucurella's case, the way I used to describe it, he has that chaotic but effective approach, but effective way of applying himself on the pitch, that he gets the opposition players annoyed and trying to, you can say, you hate him. You hate him being the one marking you. But the difference is that he's more technically gifted than Cucurella. He's a much better dribbler than Cucurella. Cucurella was an excellent defender, servant for us overall. He has that ability to find passing lanes where you don't know one exists. But something he cannot do consistently is to beat his man. But he does pull off good dribbles every now and then, but it's not his thing. When you have his man on, when you have the man already on him without space for him to decide what to do, he usually passes it sideways or backwards. So I'm happy we signed Pep Chavarria. And for those of you who, for me, thinks is a mediocre signing, I'd like you to go look up La Liga's team of the season. Yeah, he's that player capable of playing as a wing back and also as a traditional left back. Pace, power, excellent crosses into the box with intent. More importantly, he just doesn't put the ball into the box. He puts the ball into the box with intent, more importantly. So that makes me happy. And I'm happy. It looks like you're going to be getting diversified opinion here. We have our senior panelist on the panel with me here, and Bobby. Bobby, thank you for joining me. I do hope you're doing well.
Yeah, big up, coach.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
good.
big up. Good to hear. I'll come back and I'll bring you up to par. I'll bring us, show you item I've addressed already. Yeah, we've addressed that. More likes, guys. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Let's see. Okay, I think it's because, okay, let's see. Ben Roberts is the reason why Robin Sanchez is staying. That's a lie. If the manager doesn't want him, he's gone. He's a good goalkeeper. Even if you think he didn't have a good start to life as a Chelsea player, he improved and actually did very well. Misha and Asuga both need to go get substantial playing time somewhere. Enzo should just go already, so we know we are bringing in. I think if the club, I'll leave it to the club to handle, really. I think we're going to keep Quenda. Quenda stays. Letting him go would be a mistake. I think he's an excellent player. Why should who go? I'm not sure who you're mentioning. Let's see. Nice to see you, my bro. I appreciate you. I think he's gone. Whoever wants to go should go. I think that's what it is, but it's up to the manager to decide. I'm not going to go by what we're hearing from the media or social media accounts to conclude that certain players want to leave. So therefore, we should let them go because they're not committed. I don't operate like that. And that's just who I am. Tebeho saying big up to Bobby there. Big up, coach. Big up to you too. That truth 888 and big up to the chat. So where do I need to bring on Bobby here? Chavarria, we'll sign him. PSG, I need to move for Malo Gusto. Let me just be quick here. I'm going to be quick with Bobby here. That one, the Kavunga. Okay, the first item, this one here. All right, Martin Zubimendi. Is that the wrong one? Not that one. Okay, this kid has gone on loan. Might be going on loan. Nothing says he's already gone there. Might be going on loan to Portsmouth. Is it Portsmouth or Portsmouth, Bobby? I'm not sure. But good for him. Bobby, how well do you know him? You watch the Academy Kids, but the little I've seen from him, given a few minutes he played in the 2 friendly games where he featured, he seems like the real deal. But he still needs to go out on loan. If he stays,
Who's this?
I think his development will dwarf. Go ahead.
Who's this?
Kavuma McQueen.
Oh, him. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A loan would serve him well. He's not quite ready for the first team, but very, very promising.
So I'm glad you know the academy players very well. This one here, João Pedro, on his relationship with Welbeck. We don't need to dwell on this particular topic here. I think it just maybe that will, you can say, reflect that, yeah, João Pedro, what's his name? Danny Welbeck will be of great importance to the dressing rooms. Overall growth, in my opinion, because we have a lot of not inexperienced players that are still maturing, not quite there. I think it will help them reach that level of applying themselves in a mature manner on the pitch and on and off the pitch, in my opinion. So they've played, this will be the third club that they've been in together. They'll be playing, and because they played together already, that they played together, so it'd be accurate to phrase it that way. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, or Bobby, should I just move on?
To add to what, coach?
To add to João Pedro, what he said about his relationship with Danny Welbeck, and Chelsea will be the third club where they played together.
No,
and he talked about how he helped him when he arrived, and at the time didn't speak English. He helped him a lot. He helped him, you could say, acclimatize maybe. But go ahead, or
Let's move
settle
on. It's
down.
left to be
Mhm.
seen what
Mm.
Welbeck did 3 or 4 years ago. We need to see what he's going to be able to do next season.
All
Just
right,
like
all right.
this Pep Chavarria thing, I think you're doing too much. I don't know how much of him you've actually watched of this guy. But if you look at his stats, he has only ever scored one goal in 33 um, um, La Liga appearances last season.
What is his
Before that,
position? What is his position?
doesn't matter. He's a left wing back.
No,
Scoring goals is
left
part
wing
of
back
their
and a
remit.
left back. Bobby, what's his position? Did you check all the metrics, or did you just look at how many goals he scored and he's a wing back, or you could say a left back that's capable of fulfilling the wing back role? And the only thing you paid attention to is that he scored one goal in 33 appearances.
Look,
But
I'm neither for
I'll
or
leave it to you,
against.
Bobby.
I'm
Go
just
ahead. Go ahead.
saying I'm
Go
neither
ahead.
for or against. I'm just saying we need to wait and see.
I don't need to wait
I'm
and
not
see because I
easily
knew him before we
taken.
signed him, Bobby.
Sorry,
I knew him before we signed him.
you've watched this guy?
Yes, of course.
Really?
I don't watch only Premier Leagues alone, of the Premier League games alone.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know me too well. When I don't know a player that much, I will tell you I don't know him that well, and I don't like throwing numbers at people out of my wazoo. That's one of my favorite things to say. But go ahead with what you're saying. I mean, it's a debate anyway. More importantly, but I understand where you're coming from.
Look,
For
he's
those
more or
that
less a
don't know
Chelsea player
him,
now, so
for those that don't
I
know
I
him,
support
go
him.
ahead, go ahead.
He's more or less a Chelsea player now, so I support him. But
More
just be
importantly.
aware that the standards here are extremely high, and there's no room for plodders. He's got to be a good player, and let's see if he is.
Yeah, but I know you're always skeptical, and I don't blame you for that. And that's something you expect from someone that doesn't know a player. So the only when you can say for them that rule, seeing is believing, is very much applicable. If I don't know him, I just say, okay, you know what? I've heard that he's this way, that way, but let's wait and see how well he do in the Premier League. But I know him; he can be physical. He's quick, excellent dribbler, puts the ball into the box with pace and power, and with intent. More importantly. So for me, that's a good scouting work, actually. And that's why we're getting him for the price we're getting him for. And the fact that he made La Liga's team of the season, that's huge. So I'm not saying it's guaranteed that he hits the ground running. We've seen players switch clubs from a Premier League club to another Premier League club and end up not doing well. So it's not guaranteed. Or he might need time, but I know he will succeed at Chelsea. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not going to try to convince you to just go by what I'm telling you. I'll leave it up to you when you see him up close, maybe then you get to decide whether you think he's good enough for Chelsea or not. It's
Yeah,
not. It's not
definitely.
about. It's not a fight. Go ahead. Were you saying something, Bobby?
No, definitely. That's exactly what I will do.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. When you don't know a player, I don't just go by clips of videos and say that player is good enough. Just as much as it does in the case of Barco, I know him too well. I get it. I get the vertically challenged aspect, and I understand your argument. We have to pair him with somebody bigger, otherwise our midfield will be weak, and it's understandable. But I'm just sticking with his overall playing ability, and I know I don't think we put him on the pitch, and then leave him to go to war by himself without ensuring that we put other players. We field other players that will complement his skills, and that you could say that his lack of height won't be that much of an issue because other players around him are taller and bigger, which is understandable. But Eden Hazard was linked to Real Madrid for 5 years until he left, so it's normal. Even João Pedro was linked to Barcelona. So I'd like him to stay as an experienced player, and people don't rate him because he's not the flashiest of players. He's not the best of dribblers, but if you know him well enough, there are ways to get the best out of him. And I think Enzo Maresca did that when he was around. All right, let's see. Ryan Kavuma McQueen will be loaned to championship clubs. Yeah, Portsmouth. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know. I've
Portsmouth.
Portsmouth.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see. Well, his situation reeks of desperation and more volatility than those ones. Okay, you're talking about Eden Hazard. I'm going to leave that conversation for you and Tobejo. And my bro Birani Yahayu is in the house. Appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. And yeah, you don't know everyone. I don't know every player that plays in the Spanish league. I get to know certain players when they play against certain teams. Then I pay attention to them. If they have a good game on the day, then I'll start paying attention to them. I know how to watch a scouting report on a player we are linked with, and in this case, I think a good signing, in my opinion. Hopefully, he hits the ground running. If I had the cards, I would have gone for that Real Madrid left back from Benfica, but our first choice has always been Chavarria. Yeah. Let's see. I'm glad to see Gits is adapting quickly in Premier League. I think he's not quite there yet, but the signs are good. All right, next item here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see. What do we have here? Give me 1 second here. All right, we've already, even before getting to this particular item, we've already talked about Pedro Neto. According to reports, Chelsea are set to demand 17 million pounds from Manchester City for Pedro Neto. We've heard that City are interested. They value him a lot, blah, 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 whatever they're saying. In our case, we're not forcing him out, but at the same time, if you can bring that amount to the table, maybe we will talk. And I think we've talked about this also. The fact that, for me, the asking price or maybe the valuation reflects the fact that we're not looking to sell him. But if he wants to leave, that changes everything. And if he wants to leave, City must bring 70 million pounds to the table, which is a way of telling them we're not desperate to sell this player. The same thing with the case of Malo Gusto. But that's, by the way, Bobby, you have anything to add to that before I go to Dante? And by the way, we have the captain of the community on the panel with us in Constantine Dante, the Aussie man. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. So let's hear you, Bobby. Neto, we're not, as the signs are clear, we're not looking to sell him.
Yeah, the signs are clear for both Neto and Malo Gusto. We're not looking to sell them. Will they be sold? Time will tell. I'm glad we're not allowing anybody to lowball us for any of our players. You know, it really pisses me off when I see all these content creators talking nonsense about, "Ooh, why is Chelsea putting 70 million?" You know, downgrading Chelsea's efforts to put value on their players. It really annoys me. Whereas if it's any other club, they'll just be quiet. Let's put that value and see what happens. If towards the end of the transfer market, the squad is well set and we can, you know, look at him as surplus to requirements, then if Man City is still interested, the price can go down, or anyone else. But that's it. He's not somebody we are particularly looking to offload, and I'm glad
No.
that's what's happening. And the same is for Neto. You know, you don't just throw away players. I still think Neto has some value to this team and
I
to
think so
Alonso.
too. I think so too. And I
Yeah,
think,
he
and we've
can
heard. Go ahead.
he can
Sorry.
play as a wing back. He can play as a winger. You know, he can even play as a striker, as he's shown us. He can do the number 10. He's quite versatile. So I think Neto really has perhaps even more of a place than Gusto. And, you know, we should have grown out of this idea of relying totally on one player. Yeah, we've got Palestra, fantastic. But Palestra needs another right back with him. And we can't be including Reece James in that. I think with
No.
Reece James' injury, Reece James now has to find himself either in the midfield or on the right side of a back three whenever we play a back three.
Yep, and apply himself as a traditional right centre back or
Yeah,
right back in a back four where he doesn't have to bomb up and down forward, risking getting injured again and staying out for 1,000 years. Go ahead, buddy.
yeah, whenever it's possible to do that. Especially if we don't bring in another midfielder, then he's one for that double six role. So I wouldn't be in a rush to offload Gusto and Neto.
I
We have
wouldn't.
other players that are likely to go. Definitely Delap, definitely Dewey. It looks like Jackson, although I would rather keep him, but it looks like he will go. Um, yeah, I mean, we're not short of marketable players. There's Tosin. Apparently, people are looking at him. Badia Shield, Desasi. There's still a number of players to be offloaded from the squad before you start looking at these two players that can actually be useful to the squad.
They don't have to be starting, but they can be if they prove they can. They should be start. They they should be the starting players. And then yeah, let the manager will he'd see that and start
You make
fielding
that
them
call.
over the other players. Yeah, he will make that call. It's a team. It's a team game. Depth is important. We've been there. I'm not saying players. You say fans' opinion wields any measure of influence with regards to the club selling certain players or not, but it just reflects how you could say
It's
the sort of short memories we have, how quickly we forgot that we've
coach.
been there when we said sold
Fans
Nkunku, sold Jao Felix,
fa-
and then boom, it
fans'
as
opinion puts
mhm.
pressure on the club.
I mean,
Fans'
not in terms
opinion
of selling
that's what
players,
got
really.
rid of Garnacho. The club aren't stupid. They see what the fans are saying. They hear it in the stadium, they see
Mhm.
it on social media, and of course, the output is the final acid test. Fans are very, very important in what they do with players.
All right. But here's the thing quickly. What I want to say quickly, I'll give the microphone back to those in the chat and I'll come back to the panel. We'll hear Dante's opinion on the futures of um, Pedro Neto and Malo Gusto. So what I wanted to say is this fans should understand the importance of squad depth.
Oh, for sure, but they don't.
They don't. Because,
They,
yeah,
they, they don't,
even
and
though
then they
I
go
get it,
into a season. Then, if you have an injury or a suspension or something like that, they start saying, "Oh, injuries is part of football," and watch the club go out there and struggle.
we've been
We've
there before, yeah.
struggled enough.
We've
Now
been.
that we
Mhm.
we don't have European football, we should not be struggling at all. We should have enough squad depth to deal with every competition at full throttle.
Yeah. All right. Let me catch up here. I'll come back to the panel. Big up Dante. Dante, they're saying big up to you. Welcome Dante from Thames. And says that I saw Chelsea fans. Okay. We should reduce the asking price for Enzo Fernandez, which reduce it for what? That's the way. I remember when we sold Arsenal to Tottenham we sold what's his name, Kai Havertz to Arsenal. Their initial bid, Chelsea fans were saying, "Take it and run, take it and run." For what? And we nearly got twice as much. As for let the club do their thing. The club value Enzo Fernandez, and I'm quite sure they're not just saying for the sake of. They're not just saying it for the sake of, or you could say, getting a sizable fee from his soul. They're saying it because they really want to keep him. He only gets to leave if he's pushing to leave and you meet our valuation, and that's if you don't meet our valuation, we'll keep him. He's a good player
I
and
think
was one of our best players last season.
I think you've hit the nail on this on the head. He only leaves if he's pushing to leave and if the valuation is met. I don't
Yep.
think Enzo will push to leave, honestly. I think he's slightly an immature guy. He got disappointed and frustrated with last season. He will now be seeing all the changes. Yes, he would rather play European football, but I think Chelsea, Spurs, and Man United last season has proved you don't need to be playing Champions League football to be able to recruit the best players. Look at the players Spurs are getting. You don't need it. You need to be a club that has stability, that shows it's going somewhere, and of course has pedigree. Players
Mm.
will come if they feel okay. This season we're building up to going into the Champions League. Sometimes they even prefer it because they use it as an integrating season to prepare the team to go in there. So Enzo would have seen it, done it, worn the t-shirt with Chelsea. I reflect back to his last interview where he spoke of what Messi told him, and when he said, look, sometimes you look at a club and it's not about going somewhere that's winning all the trophies, it's about family. And he's got settled family in London at Chelsea, in Cobham in particular. He is very, very, very much as irritating as he's been, as much as sometimes you want to give him a slap because he does silly things, but he has been very much a part of Chelsea. Good, bad, and ugly. He was part of that mess last season. He wore the vice captain's armband, which, by the way, this season I would personally take it away from him and give it to Caicedo, but I digress. So I personally, I'll put my neck out. And, you know, if I'm wrong, football, I don't have a magic ball. I would be surprised if he's not at Chelsea come next season. Let me put it
All
that way.
right. For me, at this one, I'd say 50-50, but let's see. Yeah, as a Chelsea fans, I disagree. Why did we sign players for premium prices? But yeah, when it comes to us, we should reduce the price because they don't like that player. And Ziggy, Bobby always coming with the fire. Ziggy appreciates Bobby there. Big up, big up, big up Dante from The Truth there, saying big up to you. Yes, Ziggy. Let's see what else we have here. Anything else? By Rodri and Scott. Yeah, Rodri has already made up his mind. He's going to Barcelona. And I think it makes sense to actually argue that the reason he didn't go to Madrid probably because of Mourinho's known approach, you know,
But
non-progressive approach. Yeah.
Coach, Barca lowballed. They might have dropped the ball. They lowballed 38.2 million pounds,
You know
45
why?
million euros.
You know
Of
why?
course, City
Because
rejected it.
no, because he made it clear. Yeah, I get the why they're lowballing. He's made it clear. He's chosen them over Real Madrid. There's no competition. So that
Has he
definitely means,
emphatically said that?
yeah. Fabrizio said it. He's said it
Wow,
through his agent. He wants Barcelona over Real
wow,
Madrid. So that
that's a
changes it. Yeah.
stranglehold. Of
So
course,
Barca, they're not going to be in a hurry now. He's probably made up his mind. It's Barca or I run down my contract and leave as a free agent. That's
yeah.
the latter part is me remixing the report. But
To be,
report
to be
clearly.
honest,
Mhm.
he would do better at Barca, and he'll be more valued.
Yeah.
Real
And
Madrid
more
have
of
too
his you
many
can say more of the
midfielders.
way he likes to play. It's their
Yeah.
thing. It's their DNA. So why go to Real Madrid? For me,
Yeah,
it does
they
make
have
sense.
too many, and Mourinho ball is too rigid for him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
wow, they've shot
They-
themselves in the foot by letting him talk like that because now Madrid will think twice about coming to counter offer. They'll say, "Well,
no,
what's the
Madrid,
point?"
they're not going to even counter offer because you would take a lot. You'd have to convince
Yeah,
the player first. The player
yeah,
has made it clear it's Barca, which is why
uh,
Barca, which gave them the audacity to low ball.
yeah. And now his heart is there, so
Yeah.
that's it. He's done
Mhm.
with Man City.
Yeah, Rodri will not come to Chelsea. Won't happen. Rodri definitely won't come to us. I mean, but big up to you too. Nice to see you on GFC, Gavin. Always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Anything else here to address before I go to Dante? To those who want to leave the club, let them do so
Big up
because they
Gavin.
don't.
He's not
Mhm.
streaming these days. I used to like
Busy.
joining him sometimes.
Man is busy, yeah, with work.
It's a
Do
shame.
so because they have heart for the club, and those are the same players who brought us down as a club. Okay, thank you for that. Anything? Hey, hi, fine, nice to see you. Vic, always nice to see you. Appreciate you. Squad depth is important to keep the levels high. Our bench is not up to par with our first 11, unfortunately, but I will keep, what's his name? I will keep Pedro Neto, but I know you haven't mentioned him. Certain players need to be changed to have better squad depth. I understand. For me, personally, we need to learn Dario Esugo and still sign another midfielder to compete with Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, because if one of them get injured, I cannot trust Lavia. Isugo, we're hearing he's open to going out on loan. He wants to play consistently. What's buzzing, Vic? Any updates for us today? Oh, you still remember all these commands? All right. Enzo decides his fate, but we hold onto the leech. Yeah, exactly. You pay us or you go. All right. Enzo. Yep, twice. Duplicate there. What else do we have here? You want to take away the vice captain title away from him, but still expect him to stay. Yeah, why pole dance and twerking for Madrid? So I think the club will. I don't think he keeps it. I'd be shocked if it does, but we'll see. Tosin not capable
It's
to be in the
Alonso
defensive line.
decision. A new
Yeah, it is a
manager,
decision. Yeah.
new rules, really. Personally, I mean, I don't know, but personally, if I'm
Mhm.
coming in, I will set the tone. The way Caicedo has shown loyalty, shown he's in for the whole program, he has to have the cap. He has to
I'd
have the
make him the
vice
vice
captain.
captain, but that's my
Oh, for
opinion.
sure.
Mhm.
For
No,
sure. I wouldn't even hesitate. And I will tell Enzo, I say, look, this guy, hands down, signed a new he's never said a bad word. I say, bro, it doesn't mean to say you're not valued, but look, this position, let's not annoy the fans. Simple. He'll understand.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, it just wouldn't make sense to keep him there, but it's up to him. He say, Bobby oh, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, Gavin. May her soul rest in peace. My daughter's mom died. I have to be doing. Sorry to hear that.
Wow. Oh my God.
Condolences to you and your loved ones. And
Yeah,
sorry,
condolences for
I didn't
sure.
know. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. So I will be praying for you. All
Wow,
right,
that's
let's
really
see.
sad.
Yeah, very sad, really. Sorry about that, Gavin, as you're hearing. Keep the blue flag flying high. And that's nice to see you, CE57. Is that the code was CE? I'm not sure. If you strip him of the armband, then he wouldn't feel valued. Enzo will leave. Let's see what happens, really. Chelsea need to sign Alex Scott this season. I'm not sure who else we need to sign. It's up to the manager. I'm open to whoever he wants us to sign. If it all falls apart on his head. Dante, big up to you and welcome to the panel. I do hope you're doing well. Your opinion, where do you want to come in? I don't think we've actually talked about it a lot, but you can go with Gusto and Gusto. Yeah, go with Gusto. Then you can also talk about the possibility of Enzo Fernandez joining Manchester City, which doesn't make sense to me because they still have a few they have good numbers there, even with Elliot Anderson. So I'm not sure. But let's hear you, Dante.
Yeah, big up, Coach Bobby.
Big up to you too.
Everyone in the chat there. I said Tem, Tobago, and the Truth saying hello to me. So, yeah, and condolences to Garvin. Sorry to hear that, my friend. Yeah, look, Gusto. Gusto is an interesting one. I did have my worries a little bit when we signed Alonso, if he's going to stay or not, especially when we were looking at wing backs, to obviously more starting caliber wing backs. Gusto's not really a wing back. He's a right back. He can invert. We saw what he does. He's a defensive type player, but unfortunately very, very limited going forward. It's not really his game, not his style. And in that position, you have to have that probably more than defensive duties in a right wing position. So, look, we bought Palestra for the right hand side, Chavarria for the left side. I think those two will probably be the main guys starting as soon as Alonso, gets everyone up to speed and he's got the whole squad, and gets into that formation. I'd love him to stay because I think he would be great. Basically a rotational piece, backup option. Like I said, he's you can put him in different positions. But I was worried when we did go for those players that he might be one that would look to exit because just depends, how much Alonso would favor him. But I don't see Alonso favoring him over Palestra, to be honest. And if
But
you
he's
know,
never been a starter.
no, he's
He
never
used
been.
to often get games just because Rhys James was injured. And even then, there were often players playing in that
Yeah,
position ahead of him.
but he started like 70% of games, probably, because
And you
Reese
could
wasn't
argue the
around.
absence of Reece James meant he started a lot of those games he started.
He
He
did.
did, yeah. And then the way Maresca used him, that suited him formation wise, inverting. So then he started nearly pretty much every game. He played quite a lot of football. He has a lot of minutes, so way more than Reece James. So yeah, look, I think it's up to the player as well, and that's where you got to decide if someone's come like Man City, like his ex-manager wants him because he's going to use him in a certain way and promises him, I need you here for this. You're going to have this role. It's a clear, defined role for him. Well, I think he probably leaves. Now, that's also if they meet our valuation, because we put an evaluation on him as well. So,
Would you say the valuation reflects the fact that we're not eager to sell him?
Not eager to sell, but also how the market is. And he's a valuable player, especially who's asking for him. If an ex-manager asks for you, and that you're a big club like Man City who pay money when they want a player, they don't really muck around too much. And the other thing is his salary. He's on a very low salary. He's on a 40K a week at Gusto. And we hasn't been renewed at all. They haven't even brought it up to renew his contract. And, that is a big draw card for a player like him, who played that many minutes. Man City coming say, well, I can promise you minutes and I can promise you 150K a week or 200K a week. Well, that makes a big difference. So
I would take it too. And it's the same country, and he's not married, doesn't have kids yet. So I think the switch, but as much as I'd like him to stay, I'm just trying to be objective and see things from his perspective a little bit. I think everything you've explained, I would take it. It's work. And I say this all the time. We talk about players deciding whether to leave or staying. In our respective works of life or vocations, maybe whenever we're looking for a job or whenever we get an offer from a company that will pay us a lot more than what we're earning at our current respective jobs, if it doesn't include moving family members or lifestyle change, good pay, you usually take it. It's a job. But more importantly, it's a job. Yeah.
Look, that's where I'm coming from, a player's sort of angle view.
Oh, did I do a tap in there?
You did, yes. But you knew that already, that I'm coming from that angle. So I do like to go from that angle to come up on the player's side, how he would view it. So yes, so if you got a manager that trusts you already, that backs you, that played you a lot and used you,
oh, that's another factor.
Positions well, and then the money as well. Well, then that's a pretty draw card because, like I said, if you put him on paper now, Alonso, he's not starting over Palestra. No, he's going to be in backup option. So it just depends.
And let's be honest, Palestra is more equipped, a better dribbler than him, more physical than him, better aerially than him.
Yes. And yeah, look, we haven't seen Palestra yet in the Premier League, but I have a feeling he'll be pretty good. So we can't 100%. But look, Chelsea put that price on him for a reason. They don't really want to sell him. We would keep him definitely as a rotational piece. We'd love to keep him because, he's still young, but he's got a lot of experience now. He's international, France international. It's just that position. That's why I'm coming from that angle, because he's one of those that I saw in that position. Will he really be favored there? Will he really do well at that position? I personally don't think so. Not going forward, that's for sure. Not what Alonso will ask of him going forward. It'll be very hard for him to produce that. Defensively, yes. Shutting down players, yes. He'll be fine. But yeah, that position asks probably 60%, maybe 65% going forward, the 30%, defending. So yeah, it's a tough one. But look, if they come in, that's why I said I'm going down his angle. I reckon he would take it. And that's why he probably would take it, and he's looking at it because he'll have assurances with his ex-manager, knows him well, pay rise will be a big thing. And we haven't offered him a contract. And for him to be on 40K a week, he's played a lot of football for us. And for us not to offer him, maybe he doesn't feel as valued either. So
you've mentioned some important factors there, but the salary thing, and plus a manager who's used him quite a lot. Actually, even when Reece James was available, we've actually had both. We had occasions where we had both on the pitch. But something else that's important, if he feels like, which I don't think is the case, because after all, he still did get a chance to play as right back, as a traditional right back for France in the World Cup. If he feels like, the way Maresca utilizes him has been detrimental to his development as a traditional right back, and I think that to some extent is an issue. If he takes that seriously and would want to stay at the club where he plays as a wing back, or maybe as a inverted fullback, or maybe as a traditional fullback, I don't think that's a factor for him, really. It doesn't look like it, because he still got the chance to play as a traditional right back for France. And I'd argue the reason on occasions when we've seen him deployed as a traditional fullback that he struggled, down to the fact because, we, since joining Chelsea, hadn't played in any particular position consistently. As a young player, for me, that was a fact. That was one of the main reasons why he struggles to operate as a traditional right back of late, in my opinion. I don't know do you think that would be a factor for him, how the manager utilizes him?
No. For a player like him, it's playing what's more important. So playing minutes, playing a lot, that's what he loves, and he would choose playing, for Maresca, in my personal opinion, to play more as an inverting or a higher up position defensive assignment than not playing.
And you don't think that would be an issue for him getting a chance in the French national team? They don't play that manner, and I don't know Zidane to also play in that way, where you'd see his fullbacks inverting in the midfield, and basically sometimes are applying themselves on the pitch like tens.
Yeah, look, I can't answer for him, obviously, but like I said, my opinion is minutes are more important, playing minutes, because minutes, gets you paid more as well. Let's not forget, there is, the more time you play in contracts, the more time you play, the more minutes you play, the more games you play, the more you get paid. There is those clauses in contracts, games, minutes, etc. So, that's important. And for him, like I said, because he's only on 40K, I think if someone comes after you and pays pretty good money for you and then offers you a double, triple contract, I think that will, soften that blow very much. And like what you guys said about earlier, I heard Bobby saying, a lot of fans don't really like him or appreciate him at all, to be honest. He doesn't get that much love at all. He's one of those that fans always scapegoat every time. And
Gusto, right?
Yeah, Gusto, correct. Everybody, they don't like him. No one likes him. We always have to defend him every time he played, and he played for Maresca because he was doing a job assignment, not really paid. He wasn't really played to go forward, score goals, get assists when he was inverting at that number 10. So yeah, look, I think that comes into play as well. When you don't really have that love as well from the fans, that helps make the decision much, much easier as well. So I think he's one of those that falls in that category. Unfortunately, he doesn't get much love from fans at all. If you look at every game, they're always yelling, scapegoating him after the game, sell him, so he's not good enough, etc. So probably 80%, 90% of the time he gets that every single time he plays. So that weighs into a player's mind, because they do, especially the young ones like him, they're always on social media. That's what they do. They're on social media so they see stuff like that. So when you don't feel that love, well, makes the job. Makes you,
it becomes a factor to consider if you get an opportunity to leave.
Yeah, you're not as attached. You're not as attached because of that reason.
All right. I'm going to give the microphone back to those in the chat. Come back to the panel. We'll hear Vince's Jay's opinion. And Dante, I don't know, did you talk about Enzo Fernandez, the possibility of him joining Manchester City? I think you have, right?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, I'll come back. Then you talk about him. Or maybe we'll go to that particular topic later, so it's not too much on one panelist at the same time. Well spoken, he says. Because being a vice captain and didn't respect and protect his teammates and the club. All right. Stop cooking each other. Let them cook each other. That's enjoyable. Enzo will leave. If he stays, he's a starter. I don't think Alonso is crazy about him. We don't know that, but if we're going by what he said, he might actually want him to stay. Yeah, because if it's, and also we might actually, I think we're actually prepared to accommodate him, because had that not been the case, I think we'll by now should have a new Maki signing in that department, able to fulfill his role and measure him in terms of vision, passing range, and ability to beat the press. Maybe the manager maybe he's looking to change the dynamics of that midfield, so we're not going to be looking for like for likes. Likes for likes in time, like for like in terms of replacement. But let's see. They should give the vice captain to Moises Caicedo. I would too, but it comes on to what the manager wants. And the truth says, what do you think seems to be missing from our first 11? We have enough talent, but why does it always feel like something seems to be missing? I'm going to highlight this because we're not Q&A yet, so that we don't deviate from the current topic. Please, I'll come back to that. I saved it. I'm not going to forget. If I forget, remind me. I think we need far more than talented and skilled in maturity. Okay, that in every aspect of it, mentality needs to win games before we even set foot on the field. I see talented players with low morale. I don't. I think that's changing. We've signed, of all the players we've signed, only one exception in that has never won any trophies. And for me, that's on papers. It wasn't something. It wasn't a coincidence, in my opinion. More likes, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. 40 likes, but I believe we can do a lot better than that. If you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't. Anything else aligned? Dyke Command says Chelsea need to also sign a goalkeeper. We cannot trust Robert Sanchez. Okay, let's see what happens. That Bobby guy is full of intellect. Why praise him? And you're gonna have me read it here now. I don't like Bobby. That Bobby guy is full of intellect. He speaks reality. We need that efficient squad depth. So I am always lost when I read fans putting our best players up for sale. Enzo and Gusto should not be sold. We don't want him sold, and I don't think the club wants them gone too. The club wants him to stay, but the manager, let's see what he does. He's in control, and I think that's quite evident at this point. The club should consider Caicedo because he's shown loyalty, and he's since day one. Since day one, he started playing for Chelsea. He has never said any bad thing or talking about the club with proof enough. Okay, do we really need a goalkeeper? In my opinion, just make sure we have a good defensive line. But Jay, big up to you, and thank you for finding the time to join the panel. Jay, the fans lawyer, appreciate you. Your thoughts? Pedro Neto to Manchester City, Malo Gusto possibly to Manchester City or Paris Saint-Germain, Enzo Fernández possibly to Manchester City. So in Manchester City, rumors suggest they want 3 of our players. If we're to believe them, but let's hear you, Jay, your thoughts on those. What the possibility of any of them happening, really?
Big up, guys. Big up, coach.
Big up, Jay. And Jay out.
Big
if
up.
you see it, let me highlight it so you can see it. You see it? They don't like you. Can you see it?
Nice introduction. Can't get any better. Big up, people in
Go
the
ahead,
chat.
Jay.
And,
Yeah.
Sad to hear about Gavin. More strength to you and your family.
Yeah, and someone else in the chat, sorry, said he lost his dad. How did I miss that? I highlighted it and I wanted to talk about it. Sorry. Let me see if I can find it with a search. Oh my goodness. How did I miss it? Okay, my father is also dead. Ebenezer, sorry to hear about the passing of your dad too, and may he so rest in peace. I highlighted it and forgot to talk about it. So go ahead, Jay.
Look, I feel like that maybe not all of the 3 deals may go through to City, but I see there is a possibility for 1 or 2 to happen, which would still be quite, big for us financially. And these are not going to, any of them is not going to be small deals. It's all going to cost a lot of money to City. And the Gusto one, look, actually, with all the three players that have been linked with Manchester City, I
Hmm.
just want to say that there is an obvious cultural shift that is happening at the club, right? With the
At
introduction
City
of
or us?
at Chelsea, we are seeing something different in this transfer
Hmm.
window, and that started with the incoming of Xavi Alonso, and he has been backed, and the squad has been structured in that way, in terms of experience and in terms of quality as well, right? So
Hmm.
I think these signings are also in line with that theory or that philosophy that the club is trying to, modify, and I am all for it. I have to say this. In particular case of Malo Gusto, look, he has been an okay-ish player, very inconsistent, played some good games for us and several bad games for us. He will produce some good games and then he will go on a run where he is going to be quite bad. And that has been Malo Gusto for Chelsea in the last few years. It has been a consistent pattern of inconsistencies, and that defines Malo Gusto, unfortunately. I think there is a limit uh, of Malo Gusto of how much he can improve, and I think he has been stagnant for a while now. The improvement or the growth is quite stagnant, uh, and we are not seeing the development, with time that we were expecting from him.
When you
And
say the lack of growth, I think wouldn't it be accurate to say down to how the manager hadn't used them consistently in a particular position? It's here today, there tomorrow, the other plays the day after.
um, I mean, if it was in a wrong position and if he had struggled with it, then yeah. But I think Maresca's scale is Maresca's case, and that has been the defining, highlight of Malo Gusto's career at Chelsea. I think he has actually helped him in a lot of ways. He was struggling in regular position, and that is why Maresca tried to modify him and use him in different position, where he gave us some good games, and then he struggled in those positions also. So it's not a case like he was, thriving in the regular right back role, and then Maresca changed him into something where he struggled. No, he was actually quite again inconsistent in that right back role. He was not that good, and then we saw Maresca trying to do that inverted, 8 or inverted 10 role with him, in which he gave some good games, good performances, including that PSG game.
Hmm.
Uh, and then obviously on a majority of the part he struggled. He execution was not there with him. So I think the club also recognize it, and the system. I think that is going to be a very important part of how I'm going to deal with all these three signing. The system and Xavi Alonso and how he wants to play. I do not think these are Malo Gusto is the most perfect fit according to it. He can be a backup.
He's not.
He can be a backup and he can give some games here and there, can be a cover, but then again, it's not feasible, right? Such a high financial asset to be a backup, to be the third or second choice right back when Reece James, and if Reece James is fit, he's going to be the third choice right back. And that is a very, unique role in which he can be used. I don't think now that Maresca is not here, he can be used anywhere else. So being a third choice right back and holding such a high financial value, I think it would be very wise for the club to sell him right now. And obviously, I do not believe with the price tag of 75 million, but I think that is the basic technique of negotiation on which I think a deal can be done for around 60 million. And I think everyone at the club and even at Manchester City know that this deal is going to happen, and that is where I stand with the case of Malo Gusto. And maybe Maresca is the person who can bring out the best out of him with every experiment that he tried at Chelsea. Maybe he will do something similar at Manchester City, but he will be playing that role around better players who are more stable, and that club is more stable. So there is a chance that he can, look actually good at Manchester City. But that does not mean we should regret, because there is a clear pattern that he has been struggling for a while at Chelsea. So I
Mhm.
don't mind that deal. I will be okay with it, and that will be in line with the cultural shift that we are seeing, and that cultural shift is moving on from average players or mediocre players who have been struggling here and take the leap to the next level of players who are going to take us to the top tier of winning the majors. And I don't believe that with some of these guys we can achieve that. And I think the club and Xavi Alonso also believes that, and hence why we are seeing strong links of these certain players. So that's where I stand with Malo Gusto.
All right, thank you so much for that. If he stays, I'm fine. If he leaves, I'm also fine. It's what. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. I don't need. I don't want to do self-appraise out here, but we appreciate you appreciating us. Thames, thank you. Tam, not Thames with an S. It becomes a woman's name. A popular Nigerian musician. But thank you for that. We appreciate that. The truth, cheers, fam. Appreciate you. Appreciate you too. Modman, I appreciate you there. You listen to Bobby and Dante analyze football with coach moderating in between. You want to retire on this platform. Wow. Don't make me start blushing here, but I appreciate all of that. Greetings to you too. Okay, a City fan and Rodri Saga Santa Barbara still cannot end well. Barcelona want to pay only 45 to 15 million euros. Man City already rejected that bid from Barcelona. Man City won 65 to 70 million. I think you're not going to get how much you want because he's made it clear he wants to join Barcelona. That will make life difficult for you guys. You might get a lot more than their initial bid, but I don't think you get anything close to how much you really want. It's really that simple. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Please kindly go check out Tobeho's YouTube channel. Here's the link there. Go and subscribe to Tobeho's YouTube channel. The link there, you'll see it. One of the most recent additions to the live chat. Click through it. Go and subscribe. Make sure to let him know I sent you. Gusto and Enzo need to still be in the team. It's up to the manager to decide, really. So was fun, though, right? Private. But yeah, thank you for joining. I think I've addressed that. All right. Anything else here? Jay, since I'm still with you, I think, Bobby, I don't know, have you talked about, I think you started Pedro Neto and Malo Gusto. I think you've spoken about both players, or haven't you, Bobby? And Desmond, good evening to you too. Thank you for finding the time to join the conversation. Bobby, have you spoken about Gusto and Pedro Neto? Have you, Bobby?
Yeah, I've spoken about them.
Okay. It looks like Manchester City are also looking for Enzo Fernández and Pedro Neto. We've heard that. But I'm going to come back to you, Jay. Jay, your thoughts on Enzo Fernández. What do you think happens? Do you see him still leaving? If he leaves, you see him going to City or elsewhere?
Yeah, one of the most fascinating stories of this transfer window, and if it happens, it's going to happen, in the last. It will go down to the last week of this transfer window, and that
Mm-hmm.
makes it even more interesting for the neutrals. It's a very complex deal, and obviously it has been this case has been kind of reopened or given a new life after the Rodri's decision to
Mm-hmm.
go to Barca. It has started a domino effect, which is going to play its part on different deals, including the Enzo Fernandez one as well. I think both Real Madrid and Manchester City now would be interested in signing a top midfielder, and there aren't a lot, in the market, and both of them have been interested to, in some degrees, in Enzo Fernandez. So for both of them to now, revive their interest in Enzo, I think that will be a very natural thing, and especially Manchester City, uh, because obviously uh, with the past manager of ours, ex-manager Enzo Maresca being there, and how how much he loves and wants Enzo Fernandez, as we have heard about his opinions on the player in the past as well. So I do think that there is actually a real possibility, and it all comes down to what the player wants. If the player does not want to go there, everything shuts down, and that is what people need to understand. That is what people in the chat needs to understand. It's not down to the fans. It's not down to the club. It's not down to anyone, right? So if in a few days or in a few weeks you see Manchester City coming with a bid, that means he has been encouraged, or they have actually talked with Enzo Fernandez, and he or his agent has given them and encouragement to come forward and make a bid to Chelsea. That means he still wants to leave Chelsea, which is a fact. No fan hate can do anything in this. It's all Enzo Fernandez, and it's not even a case of he just wants to go to Real Madrid. That's his dream place. No, if he wants to go to Manchester City as well, that is just a desperation that he wants to leave Chelsea at all costs, which makes me even more, which makes my decision that I want him out of the club even more strong. And that is where I stand with him. Because, yes, a player can improve us. We can be a little bit better with him. And in his absence, we might struggle a bit. But I would choose that path rather than, staying with a player who clearly does not want to stay with the club at all. With the Real Madrid thing, I could have understood it because that is Real Madrid. Every player wants to go there. But now with Manchester City as well, and there are some links with Fabrizio as well that they are interested. I'm sure it feels like they have been given some encouragement from Enzo's entourage, and that is not a good sign, to be very honest. It just feels like he wants to leave the club at all cost, and if that's his stance, then I think we should be also very much strict and very much adamant on our stance that we do not want players who do not want to stay with us. I think that is the
But that
most
doesn't
important
necessarily
thing.
mean we should sell him for you could say for peanut.
Absolutely not. And I don't think that Chelsea or Manchester City or anyone in that case believes that he's going to cost anything less than the reported price. That is not the case. That will never happen. Chelsea are not going to sell him, and even if Enzo Fernandez tries all his shenanigans again, I don't think that Chelsea are going to steep down from that price that they have decided. So that is a very different case, and I don't think there is any discussions on whether that price should come down or all that nonsense. It's just a case of if the price has been triggered, then whether we should do it or not. And in my opinion, if City comes with a bid, that is a clear indication that the player has given them encouragement, and that is enough for me to be very much strong on my decision that we as a club should move on from this player and try someone else. And yeah, that's where I stand. I think that's the most important thing. How much a player wants to stay, how much a player wants to play for us, that is the most important thing. Everything else that we might struggle, he's so good, all that nonsense does not matter to me. I do not want players that do not want to stay with us.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I don't think anybody on the panel here disagrees. I think we all agree that if a player wants to leave, that changes everything, irrespective of whether we want the player to stay or leave. More importantly, but yeah, thank you for breaking it down. Dealing with Ayub Boadi from Leo to Manchester City, almost done. Okay, good luck with that. Jay, do you see Mike Penders being our number one goalkeeper? Jay, quickly. Let's just make an exception here from Sean Abiona. It's not. We're not. This is no question and answer time, but I'll let Jay address that quickly before we move on.
I think it will be quite early to make that decision. I don't think it's sensible. We have heard from Alonso as well that he values the experience that Robert Sanchez holds in the Premier League, and for Mike Penders as well, it would be quite early to take that jump. I think that thing can gradually happen throughout the season, with some performance-based decisions on both Mike Penders and Sanchez, but I don't see it happening at the start of the season. I think gradually, maybe after the January transfer window or somewhere there, if performance uh, gives Alonso the opportunity, then yeah, then that can happen, but not at the start of the season.
And in all honesty, even if we have a plan in motion, or even if we're already talking to the camp of a certain goalkeeper, he was never going to say, yeah, you know what, we have crappy goalkeepers, we're looking to sign a new goalkeeper. He was never going to say that. And I'm not sure why people are losing their shit that, yeah, he said he's happy with the goalkeepers you have. The managers will always say that.
Yeah,
It's a risk for him to come out and say, yeah, we're looking to sign another goalkeeper.
yeah,
You're
that
basically
would be
saying,
stupid.
yeah, that would be stupid. Yeah. But fans
You
expect him
are,
to say that, and because he didn't say that, they're saying we're finished. And I'm going to say this
yeah,
again: if we get an opportunity to sign any goalkeeper that we feel like is better than Mike Pendas or maybe a Robert Sanchez, I think we will push through and sign that goalkeeper if we can afford it. And then if the other two if they're not okay with it, they can leave. That's how big clubs operate. But go ahead, Jay. You were saying something.
yeah. I mean, replying to that thing you said about some fans, it would be very stupid because then you are doing two damages to yourself. You are
Mhm.
showing your desperation to Porto, that you
Excellent.
are in for the goalkeeper, and then that can weaken your stance in negotiations. And then also you are destabilizing your, your current goalkeepers, which is obviously not going to help as well if the deal does not happen. So that is only going to harm you. So he is doing a very practical thing and the most obvious thing, which is to support the players that you have at your club right now.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for that, Jay. Let's see what else we have here. Manchester City have a good relationship with Barcelona. Yeah. Even Pep might, I don't know. I'm just saying, speculating. There's a chance he called Roger and said, you'd be better playing with Barcelona than under Mourinho. And they know Mourinho's way. The main weakness and you could say a lot of former Spanish internationals don't, especially those that play for Madrid, didn't actually want Mourinho to take over at Madrid again. The main weakness that we had last season was with defense and striking force. So let's Alonso work on these angles. Once worked on, we will not have issues to score. And with games, than blaming Sanchez. I agree. Ty, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well, but never to come and hate. Yeah, thank you for joining, Ty. Pep Guardiola once said, Nico Gonzalez is mini Rodri after FA Cup semi-finals 2026 between Man City and Southampton. Thank you for enjoying the show with us. Okay, City fans, we're talking about Chelsea here. I like that. I like that call to attention. Bobby already spoke about Enzo Fernandez, the possibility of him joining Enzo Maresca at Manchester City. Now, Dante, your turn. Do you see that happening? I think it's still a possibility, but I say at this point 50-50 because we're not going to, for the sake of him wanting to leave, lower our asking price. And for City, for me, I'd say signing him would be just be a luxury signing for them, in my opinion, because they still have good numbers in that department. But let's see. But let's hear you, Dante. But if he really wants him, I think they're going to get him for him.
Yes, interesting one. I did say when we talked about when Real Madrid were interested, we know now that they won't, not this summer anyway. So I think that's important. That's a key thing they said, not this time, not this summer, not in the player at this, though they respect him and etc. So
which means he could still, let me just do a little bit of tapping there. Could still happen.
maybe in
Okay.
January or next year. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Not this window. They're not going to do that after they wrote a letter and did that. They're not going to sign in this window. They're just not going to do that because a club loses all credibility when you put out a statement like that and then you go back on that word. That is not happening, and that president will not do that. So he's definitely not going there, in my opinion, because of that. So look,
And maybe Mourinho told him we don't need them.
yeah, look, we don't know what happened there. Most likely, we talked about it. Probably could be a bit of Chelsea and Madrid talking.
All right, I stopped hearing him. Dante, are you there?
It's not good.
Your sound isn't stable.
I got cut off. Sorry. Yeah, am I back?
Okay, yeah. You're back. Yeah, you had
Yeah. So,
you had Chick-fil-A.
no, McDonald's tonight. Yeah. What's it called? So yeah, I don't think he's going around Madrid. Now, Man City could be an option, but I really don't see that happening. One, obviously the high fee. Two, they already bought a player for record money. Three, they have, like that Man City said, Nico Gonzalez to step up in that role. And also, let's not forget that young kid Boadi who's coming in as well, which they rate highly, and they're not going to pay peanuts for him, even though he's young. He's an international. He's not. He's young, but he's got minutes. He plays for in France and he plays for the national team a lot, and him as well. So I don't really see Enzo Fernandez going there. I think Enzo Fernandez will stay at Chelsea, and I think might revisit this next window, possibly in January, the Real Madrid links, because I think he's got his heart set on that. It would only go there, and I don't see him going anywhere else, to be honest, except Madrid. Now, Atletico Madrid could be an option. Would he go to Atletico Madrid? Maybe they probably will have the money to buy him as well, especially with some sales they're making. So that's also Madrid. Now, I still doubt that one as well. I still think he would want Real Madrid. And the way you do that is he'll put his head down, he'll play, and Alonso will use him. He's too good not to use him, especially in a deep lying position, playmaker position. I think he will definitely use him. He'll play a lot of games, and he has to put his head down and do what he did last year, and he'll get his move to Real Madrid if he replicates that, or even better. So, especially in that role, because he will have that role now more than probably he did under Maresca, where Maresca played majority of in the 10 position. So, I think Xavi Alonso will probably play more deeper, in that position. So that's how Real Madrid plays. So look, we don't know, but definitely not Real Madrid. That's not happening.
Would
And
you
I don't see him
say?
going.
Would you say for the?
I don't see him
Mhm.
going sideways to Man City, because his dream is to go back to Spain. To go to Madrid, to Spain. That's where he wants to end up next. And I just don't see him going to in the north of England. To be honest, are they going to
And
pay him
he
more?
will consider the serious competition as City.
And there is serious competition,
Mhm.
but if he's coming, he's starting. They're not buying him for you know if they buy him, he's a starting player. He's going to start. Maresca, if he's bringing him over and they're going to pay the money, he will be a guaranteed starter. You're not buying a guy for 120 million plus not to be a guaranteed starter. So he will be that, but I just don't see the pay will be. He'll probably get 300 at City, but he'll probably he's close to 200 at Chelsea. So is it that much of a difference? Probably not. If he goes to Madrid, well, then that's a big difference, because there's
All
different.
right. Here's something else here now.
Yeah.
You did speak as if you're certain he's a good fit for Alonso's approach, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, would you say the fact, which would make sense to say, if we're looking to replace him, we'll be looking for like. We'll be looking for a similar profile.
Yes.
We don't have any similar profile, anything close to him. Barco has good passing range, good vision, but they're different
Yes.
in overall application on the pitch. Would you say the lack of activity or anything to suggest we're looking to sign a player of similar profile? Would you say that suggests that maybe the manager is well aware and the club knows that he's staying?
Could be. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat there. Well, we did apparently put a bid in for Alex Scott. Now, I'm not sure if that's true or not,
But they're
but
not
that
similar.
is.
His passing range is way better. The only thing Alex Scott has is his ability to drive with the ball, which Xavi values very, very well.
You're not replacing Enzo Fernandez with no player in the world. There's no other. That's it's completely. There's no other Enzo Fernandez. Basically, he's just unique the way stuff he does. But I'm just saying, we did look at that and we did put apparently a bid into that. Now that is not Enzo Fernandez, but he can do that position like Enzo Fernandez, and probably more mobile, more athletic, etc. So it is similar in a way. But like I said, you're not really replacing Enzo Fernandez. You're changing the dynamics, basically. Like I said, if Enzo Fernandez leaves, so yeah. Look, that's the only thing I can say about that. I think if that's true, that Scott bid, and we're really after Scott, then maybe that's a bit of indication. But other than that, yeah, I think he's staying. And the interview we saw, I think Bobby brought it up as well the other day, where Messi gave him some advice. He was on the Spanish broadcast and he was speaking, asking, he said to stay at Chelsea. And
Did you see it yourself?
yeah, I did. Yeah.
So it's
So,
real, really. Not that I don't
well,
trust Bobby, I'm just saying.
I don't. it's in Spanish, so it's a bit hard how quick they talk. I understand a little tiny bit, but they talk really quick, so it's very hard to understand it. So yeah, I'm not sure if the translation is exact, but because he has the subtitles underneath, obviously for English as well. But I'm not sure it's exact. But that's what he was saying. That he spoke to Messi and blah blah blah, asked him for advice, and he just advised him, that Chelsea, is a good club. Make sure you make your right decision. Sometimes not always greener on the other side, etc. So yeah, look, we don't know. Like you said, it's a 50-50, I think, at the moment, because we don't know. And him not coming back to preseason because of the World Cup, that's making it look much worse because he hasn't been with us at all as well.
But it's really simple. He and Rick James isn't back. Rogers not back. They all played and went fine in the competition. So, but I get a lot of people who read that differently.
Yeah, they're reading that differently, and that creates headlines and creates news, and that's what, unfortunately, the modern journalism is about.
No,
Assumptions.
he needed the rest. I mean, the
Yeah,
season
we understand.
before
I'm just.
he had Club World Cup and then straight into the league and then World Cup.
Well, you
He's
need
And
not
3
played
weeks.
got.
tons of games, right? Played tons of
Yeah,
games.
Mandated. You need minimum 3 weeks holiday, so he has to get the full 3 weeks. That's not even negotiable. So he had to get
yeah.
a full 3 weeks. So the other players as well. So yeah, look, I'm just saying that's probably not added as much because he hasn't been at Chelsea, and it looks like he's not at Chelsea and we're playing preseason and we've got a lot of players back, and so that just doesn't look good, and that creates more headlines. So yeah, look, we'll see what happens once he comes because you'll see Alonso talk very differently about him when he comes and actually starts training.
All right. Anybody else about Enzo Fernandez before we look at the next next item to discuss? Anybody else? Okay, let me give the mic. Go ahead. Anybody?
Just to add to the point about how Enzo Fernandez profile is, how much it fits the system of Xavi or the pivot that Xavi wants to use. Uh, I actually believe that he's not the perfect midfielder, profile-wise that suits Xavi's system. I think, and that is not to say that he's not a good player. I think he's a very talented midfielder, but being a very talented midfielder does not automatically make you a perfect fit for a certain system. And the problem is, I don't think that even Wharton or Alex Scott is the perfect fit for Xavi's system. So, there is a big question mark that if Enzo is to be sold, then if if both of them or one of them are to be replacing Enzo, then I still don't think that we are fulfilling the tactical, tactical role that Xavi's system requires. So, there are a whole lot of questions and dynamics around that as well.
It's not as simple as it sounds, so I agree. But I think he will make very good use of him. His Enzo Fernandez, in my opinion, has actually better passing range than what's his name, Granit Xhaka. I think he can mold him into what he wants. The most important thing is that he's properly equipped to adapt to any role, as long as it's a deep playing role. It's a deep line playmaker role, or maybe register style role, or maybe
he can play
box
in the 10
crashing.
we saw under Maresca.
Hybrid. Yeah, exactly. So no,
can
the
be one
point
of those
I'm
two
trying.
tens.
Go ahead.
We are playing
Point
with
I'm
two
trying to
tens.
make, as much as I understand Jay's opinion, he's properly equipped. That the
course he is.
manager would definitely put him to good use.
It's too valuable.
Yeah, exactly. Irrespective of
course.
how he differs from the typical Alonso 6 or hybrid of 8 and 6, but you get the gist. But I think we all have good points there. All right, let me see what else we have here. I've come out. We're all caught up there. Vince is saying Diogo Costa is overrated. He didn't have the potential of Penders at the same age. Keep Sanchez and East Penders in number one. I wouldn't mind that, but we just discussed how fans were expecting the manager to go, oh yeah, we have two crappy goalkeepers. We're actually looking to sign a new goalkeeper, which he will never do. Even if we're looking to sign a new goalkeeper now, nobody knows. But I'm okay with both. As I've said this 1,000 times, and I'm just going to say it again. If it makes you happy, go back, to all the games we played last season, use the FODMOB app if you have one. Go if you have it on your device. Go to the commentary tab each time revisit all those games we lost. Go to the commentary tab. Go to the minutes to make it easier on you. Look at the minutes where the goals were scored. Go to the minutes in the commentary tab. You'd see that majority of the goals we conceded were down to bad defending. Not a lot were down to us having a goalkeeper not good enough between the sticks. And so, which makes me believe that if we had a better defensive line last season, we could have finished second or third at most, fourth or maybe fifth. But our season imploded after, the manager left. In my opinion, he sold us out. In my opinion, the point I'm trying to make with a better defensive line will be all right. So you and I agree. Well, I don't think that our area should be a priority for us. If anything, sign one more CB, and if Enzo Fernández isn't staying, sign a capable midfielder with excellent vision and passing range. Baku can still stay. We need squad depth. Alex Scott fits Alonso's style better than Enzo. He's the type of 8 he needs because his ability to drive with the ball. I didn't mention that. So you're into tappings yourself. Have we all spoken about Pedro Neto? I know, Jay, you want him gone. Have you spoken about him, Jay?
No, not really.
Okay, go ahead if you want to talk about him.
That means he
I
doesn't
wouldn't
want
mind
to.
it. I wouldn't mind him staying, even if he leaves. I think we're loaded. Kenda, you can say the least experience of the two players, but Kenda is more equipped. Kenda can come in handy when teams defend deep. He's an excellent dribbler. He's capable of creating spaces for himself. Neto, I'd say, you could say the same for Kenda too. Selfless. He can forfeit, applying himself on the pitch as an attacking player and ensure we don't concede goals. And every time we talk about him, I reference the Man City game, but I don't want to do that today. I think we can keep him with his experience. We need squad depth. He wouldn't be a bad squad player to have, and I think he gets to play a lot actually, given his experience. And we're hearing Xavi values his experience actually. Rugged Up says it could. He says could collapse at the end of the season have been partly linked to key players. Let me see what again he's saying to read that through. Such as Enzo, Pedro, Malo Gusto, and even Moises already having their minds on the World Cup, quietly preparing for it. That's deep right there. Big up to you to MBO5. Always nice to see you and Bobby, Coachella, Dante, and Bobby and Jay. He didn't mention Jay's name. He's not important. I'm excited for the signing of Pep Chavarría. He's a perfect replacement for Cucurella. Happy days. So Jay, you go ahead. Pedro Neto, your opinion.
Look, it's obvious, and I think you guys know that I don't rate him as much as other panelists do. But I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a decent player, and I think he can do a job on a given day. But that's how far I rate him. I don't think he's extremely good at the position or the role that he plays. I think he is limited in some ways, and I don't think that he possesses all the necessary abilities that a winger should have. I think he's very one-dimensional, and these are the specific things that I think about Pedro Neto when he's playing on the wings for us. And but I'm very neutral about it. I'll be honest. I won't rejoice when he leave, and I won't rejoice if he's here. I think we've got really talented players in the forward line, and obviously, if it's a back three system, then it's going to be more limited attackers on the pitch. And we've got two regulars in Palmer and Rogers who's going to play, and then we got the talented, young talented wingers in Quenda and Astor who can also play as inside forwards in that 10 role as well. Now, you know, it might not down to the competition or the players that we have. It can also depend on the role that Neto is going to play for Xavi Alonso. And I don't think that that inside the 10 role, in half spaces is something that suits him very much. And I'm not sure that he is willing to play as a wing back uh, at this stage of his career. I think there are multiple factors which could, result in the transfer of Pedro Neto to Manchester City. And I think it will be a mutual decision between him and the manager and the club. And it won't be down to a single factor or reason that he's just not good enough or he's not useful for us or he won't play. I think there are multiple angles involved, and that is why I think will ultimately decide whether he's going to stay or leave. But I'll be fine in both the scenarios. It will also come down to whether they replace him or not, and with who they replace him. I doubt that they will sign another forward if Neto goes, and that in some ways I would agree with Bobby and others that is in some ways that is kind of weakening our depth. But then again, we have to understand that we are not in European football. We are playing limited games as well. So I don't think that this will be that much disastrous if Pedro Neto leaves and we don't sign another player. But then again, please remember that it's not only down to whether he's good enough or not. We're not debating it. It's down to the role that he can play in a Xavi system and whether he agrees to play the other role that is the wing back. So yeah, that's where I see Pedro Neto.
All right, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. This says it's time for Neto and Gusto to go. We don't need them anymore. If we can accommodate them, I wouldn't mind a good squad depth, in my opinion. But I understand where you're coming from. Neto is too limited to play for Chelsea. Look at Esteval and Kendo. Both are way more dynamic, skillful, brave, and has a high technical level to break down low blocks and can counter-attack. Neto counter-attack is his thing. He's quicker than both players we've mentioned. It is that both players are more equipped than him in terms of beating their man. I wouldn't mind an experienced player as Neto staying, as I've said before. But then again, I'm not going to push it. It's up to the manager to decide what he wants to do with him. And he himself, more importantly, even if the manager wants him to stay and he wants to leave, I think he ends up leaving. And we all know that. So I'm not going to try and sit there and blow against the wind. And that's my opinion. Can we keep the topics aligned, please? You don't want me to skip your comments. Keep the topics aligned. Pay attention to what we're discussing. It's not okay to be dragging my brain left, right, and center. And I get exhausted by the time we get 2 hours into the show. Okay, Coach, when Diego Costa was Pender's age, he was playing for Porto, but he didn't have the same potential. That's an opinion, by the way. Anyway, you and Vic. All right, let's see. Which one? Malo Gusto, I think we've talked about that one too. But I'm just going to read it for the fans. Give me a second here. Did I not do this? Yeah. Why is it showing the top? All right. PSG, I move for Chelsea's Malo Gusto. According to the Sun Football, PSG, a shock transfer swoop for Malo Gusto. The report states that Chelsea are holding out for £75 million. They have no negotiations between PSG and Chelsea, to be clear there. If anything, we're hearing that they're just interested in the player, and we're saying if you need them, £75 million. And we're hearing City are also interested, but they're not going to meet, not for £75 million. If there are serious chances that they're going to get him for a little less, but it's going to be close. I don't think we're going to sell him for cheap because, yeah, the market is crazy. Anybody on the panel want to talk about that? His valuation, for me, not a problem. I think we should actually take it up to 80. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Anything over 65, 60 is probably okay. But yeah, if the club thinks 75, then 75 it is.
Yeah. All right. More likes, people. 45 likes. Let's see if we can get it to 100 by the time the show ends today. And once again, it is the Blue Morning Show. I get it. It's 1:46 p.m. for me, but we started at 11:45. We're still morning. But that's, by the way, according to Fabrizio Romano, Pep Chavarria is on his way to England today. He is traveling for medical tests, and the contract signing at Chelsea We signed him for 16. Is it 16.1 million? Point how much, Dante?
Yes, pounds, but 19 euros. Yeah, 19 million euros. Yeah,
But
or
16
16
point
million
something
pounds.
million pounds. Well, that's a good price for a player as experienced as he is. A player he's in the La Liga team of the season. Yeah, he's that good. And if you knew him before you started hearing that we're interested in signing him, he's a good player. Very, very good player. Good scouting work right there. I get it. Usually during transfer windows, you don't hear much about players that are not as popular as him. But I've heard from a certain, what game, who was that? That the reason we're pushing to sign him was down to how well he did against Alonso's Real Madrid. It is believable, but overall, he's a good player. And we've already actually talked about him. He has that Cucurella shithousery, more technically gifted than Cucurella, quicker than Cucurella, better dribbler than Cucurella. Cucurella, not so much of a dribbler in the first place. Let's be clear there. I'm happy we signed him. He's the only player we've signed at this particular window that hasn't won any trophies. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dante. And I told people that the fact that you say nearly all the players we've signed this particular transfer window have all won one trophy or the other, not a coincidence. It was on papers. We know exactly what we're doing, or knew exactly what we're doing when we're signing them. Dante, welcome back from your Ukomoti break. Dante doesn't drink. At least that's what I believe is the case. Bobby, you need to start overreacting. Bobby believes Arsenal is miles ahead. That's yesterday's conversation, and he has every right to see it the way he sees it, and that's because he loves the club. The same midfield we have dominated Arsenal midfield last season. Also, we have the quality to beat Arsenal. Relax. He has every reason to be as concerned as he is. So Jay, let me start with you, Dante, since I'm still with you. Was on Pep Chavarria, a good player. You could argue if we want to call it a replacement for Mark Cucurella, then that's definitely an excellent replacement for Cucurella. But before you start speaking, once Xavi gets Caicedo, Roger, João Pedro, Estevao, and Enzo back to their best, we can beat any team in the league. I believe so, but I'm prepared to be patient in case we don't hit the ground running, but I believe we will because we've been strategic with our signings. A lot of Premier League experience there. If you want to measure how many Premier League games they've all played. But Dante, let's hear you. Pep Chavarria across the line manages signing an excellent one at that, in my opinion. But let's hear you.
Yeah, a bit of an unknown, obviously, for most people. I don't think many people knew him at all, to be honest, because he hasn't really been on any, at every big club, etc. And yeah, he's not a replacement for Cucurella. You can't replace Cucurella. He's a very unique player, and he doesn't really play how Cucurella plays or the position, to be honest. So he's a specialist.
They have some similarities.
Well, just maybe passion and tenacity, a bit like you see on the screen there. That's probably one that they do have. The rest, there's not much, defensively, but nothing much else because, like I said, Chavarria is a specialist wing back. That's his role. He's been doing that for a while. So, yeah, he's very good. He's good going forward as well. He's quite more technical on the ball than Cucurella is, and yeah, he's got an eye for a pass or a cross. He's very good at that. Can score a goal as well. Always looking to assist. So he plays very differently from Cucurella. Going forward in that wing back position, what you need, he's quite ahead, a lot ahead actually of Cucurella going forward. With his technical ability, etc. So yeah, he's a perfect system fit, and that's why they wanted him. Obviously, Alonso's him and his team identified him because, like I said, there's not that many specialist wing backs around, to be honest. And obviously, being Spanish, they know the Spanish ones, and they had probably an eye on him when they played against, etc. But probably they know him because he has been doing it in Spain, and he's a specialist at that position. So yeah, look, I think he probably would be a Spanish international if they played that way. If they played with wing backs, he'll probably be a Spanish international. But because of probably that, no, he's not really. So, yeah, look, very nice player. Like I said, it's a perfect system fit. He'll once we get that going, and that's why we've been waiting for him. Palestra, it would have been good to have him at the same time, but we don't know what the politics are of the deal. That this deal has been all over the place, so it looks like it's done, and now he can come in the squad, and Alonso can really start preparing those two wing backs for what plans he has ahead, and obviously the formation he prefers, because we didn't buy him for no reason. So if they're both playing, and I'm pretty sure they will play a lot of minutes, we'll be playing with wing backs. So we will play in a three at the back system with the two wing backs, two defensive midfield, two tens, and the striker. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, like you said, we have to be a little bit patient because you know we don't have these players. We haven't had these players now. He hasn't had them in preseason,
And
so it could be a little
we're
bit of a
making a
slow
lot of
start.
changes.
Yeah, a lot of changes, a lot of players to leave as well. So it could be a bit of a slow start because of that. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not worried for later on. I think we'll be just fine. But yeah, it could be a little bit of slow start, like you said. It's not ideal, but this is what the World Cup. It was always going to be like this because the World Cup, that's what it produces. So yeah, and our players went quite far, some of them. So, we
Hmm.
haven't got them back early as well. So, some of our key players. So, yeah, look, it is what it is, but we move forward. And I think Alonso will get a bit of time. It's good that we're not in Europe because then he will have more time on the training pitch and not have any travel issues or, having to cut some, sessions down because you have Europe and you have to concentrate on that as well. So, that will really help, I think, us settle down a little bit quicker, but I don't think it'll be straight away. So, yeah, we need to be a bit patient.
All right, thank you so much for that, Dante. And one of those that don't like Pep's signing, maybe not. I'm not saying he doesn't like his signing, but Vic just want to fight me. He says Pep never won any trophies, never represented Spain at any level, probably 10 assists in his entire career. Stop gaslighting. I'm gonna block you soon. All right. And then he says, my boss says Coach Cucurella didn't represent Spain national team until he signed for Chelsea. By the time he signed for us, Spain called him up. A fact, I believe you. Thank you for that information. Pep is an aggressive, progressive ball carrier. He's decent at 28, but I hate the comparison with Cucu. I just mentioned how they differ. I'm not saying he's a better player than Cucu. I just mentioned how they're different. So leave me alone. Go back to work. How about you, Jay? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I would, have to agree with Dante a bit. He's not the most flashy signing. Actually, one of those underwhelming signings that we've made, due to
Mm-hmm.
obviously him being not popular and all. And look, he's looked actually good in comps and some videos that I've seen. But then again, hell, even Garnacho looked good in comps, so I won't take comps seriously. Uh, and Statistically, look, I don't think that he statistically or his stats are remarkable. I think they have been okay, apart from the crossing one, in which he's really good. Uh, and Obviously, he's played in La Liga as well. Being in the team of the season is obviously motivating. And I think a few seasons ago, I heard somewhere that he played in La Liga too. So it's not like he's been there in La Liga for quite a lot of seasons. And He's actually a late boomer. He's just rising on the scene now and getting the
On the biggest scene.
popularity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so one of those late boomers, and yeah, I mean, it would be a case of wait and watch. It would be really early to say anything about him because we haven't seen him at the biggest stage at all. And Hopefully, it's another case like Cucurella, who didn't get the national team call up till he came to Chelsea. So maybe this could be the start for Pep as well. The interesting thing that I've seen is that he looked quite good on the flanks, and he gives the natural feelings of a wing back, despite the fact that Rayo actually plays in a 4-2-3-1 formation
Mhm.
predominantly. So despite that, he actually, carries the natural traits of a wing back, despite being, in a full back position. So that just fills me with a lot of, motivation that he is going to do well in a
Yeah,
back three
Jay, they
system
do.
as a
They
wing
play
back.
with the fullback. Their fullbacks are both wing backs. They play as wing backs. So I know because I watch quite a few games because on the right wing back, they have the Romanian international Ratiu. So I watched. That's why I know Pep a little bit because I've seen him. They're both bomb up forward. They're both wing backs. Even the Romanian for the international team, he's a wing back as well. So yeah, they're both very similar. They both play exactly the same. So that's why I kind of watched a couple of games, and then I realized, oh, that's Chavarria. So yeah, they do. Yeah, they play as wing backs in that formation, both of them, one on the right and him on the left.
Go ahead, Jay.
Maybe then that could be a case of them changing the formation in possession because statistically the things that I've seen that they actually go with a 4-2-3-1 quite a lot most of the times. But maybe as you say in possession they might change the formation and they turn into wing backs. But in any case, I think with a more traditional setup of a back three, I think he is going to fit that perfectly. And the most important part of him being good at crossing is something I think Xavi likes, and that is something that he would love from Pep to do at Chelsea as well. He can make some good, underlapping runs as well, and good at dribbling as well. We have seen, and he's got a good shooting ability in himself as well. Despite the fact that he's not taken a lot and not scored a lot of goals, but it feels like he's got that uh, natural foot of shooting as well. And also the stamina part. It looks like he can bump forward a lot and then again come back quite quickly and support the defense as well. So these are some really good signs that he has shown. But then ultimately it's a case of wait and watch. We have to see how he looks in the Premier League. So yeah.
All right, some fact check there from Vicky says Cucurella was first called up to the Spain national team on November 12th, 2020 by manager Luis Enrique. He joined in 2022. I mean, people make mistakes all the time. Why tell him he's lying? So you've corrected him. Too many fake news.
I went with my boss stats. Don't pick on me.
Sorry, but good fact check there, Vic. Vic, thank you for catching that. But don't say he's lying. He made a mistake, man. I probably thought he was correct. So, all right, let's
Well,
see.
consistently for
Martin
Spain, yeah.
Zubi.
Let's put it that way.
Sorry,
Consistently for Spain is only once he joined Chelsea.
that was when he started playing for them consistently, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's easy to think about that and say, yeah, he only started playing for them once he joined Chelsea. So, but I like the fact check, but I don't like the part where he told him to stop lying. That's why I'm going to block Vic.
I think that deserves a timeout. Time him out. Yeah.
Yeah, he deserves a timeout. So this Martin Zubimendi to Chelsea, according to Transfer News Live, quoting Simon Phillips, Xabi Alonso has told Chelsea he wants to sign Arsenal midfielder Martin Zubimendi this summer. Alonso has informed Chelsea that Zubimendi is a player he likes, though there is currently no indication the club are pushing a deal. While Chelsea have admired Zubimendi for some time, the report states that Arsenal are unlikely to consider his sale following his impressive debut season. I don't know. I think they are racking up numbers there, but they have Europe. They have tons of games to play. I don't know. Pep never represented Yap Spain, I agree, but that doesn't mean he wouldn't do well at Chelsea. And at Chelsea, we've been surrounded with much better players, with a manager who likes him. One of them will help him become better. And I think if we do well, he gets a call up for the Spain national team. But Dante, I don't know whether to believe this news. I'm not sure what to make of it. I think I did see a post on X suggesting he's worked under Alonso when he was he coached them before, so I can't quite
Yeah,
remember what I
Sociedad.
read.
Yes, they both come from Sociedad there. Yep, yep.
Okay, yeah. So, but here's the thing. I don't know whether to believe it or not. I think he's a good player. I think he is. Do we need him? Is he the solution to what we're looking for? I don't know. I'm not the manager. But let's hear you, Dante.
Look, he suits what he kind of wants. He played 38 games last season from the Premier League. Not all of them starts, but he played in every single Premier League game, coming on the bench or starting. So, and in the Champions League as well, 13 games in the Champions League. So he played pretty much every game. He was used either a sub or starting. So that role will go down now. I think it's more that than this role will go down because obviously they signed Guimaraes. So signing Guimaraes, he's taken that role because you're not signing that guy for that much not to play him. So I think those numbers will now come down, but he'll still get a lot of game time. So look, I don't think so. I think it's probably again it could be a bit of a bit of business, a bit of agents, a bit of stuff like that, putting stuff out there because, like I said, Guimaraes is he's came to take his spot basically. So uh, yeah, look, I don't know. Can he do that role? He can because that he's a DM. He's a more specialized DM. Although he's not that tall. He's not. I think he's 5'11". So he hasn't got that really height. Physicality is quite strong. Fast, not really that fast. He's more of a IQ player, positional passing range, etc. Very, very good defensively. So he does have that defensive nous we would use in that position, but yeah, I'm not too sure about this, to be honest. I don't think there's no way they're selling him. Just signed him last season, so they're not going to sell him. Yeah, and they signed him for quite a bit as well. They're not selling him. Arteta values him too much. Like I said, he played in every single game of the Champions League and the Premier League. Even though Guimaraes has come in, I still think gets plenty of minutes. It's not going to make a difference. They don't have that big of a squad. Arsenal, to be honest, they only got 22, 23 players. So uh, they're fine. They can have that extra one player because it was a long season last season. So and it'll be another long season for them probably this season. I don't see him wanting to sell him or I don't see him leaving. It was too critical, too important. Even though Guimaraes is coming, still too critical and important for that the way they play. I don't see Arteta letting him go, to be honest.
All right, Bobby. Let's hear your thoughts. Anything you want to say about the possibility of Zubimendi joining Chelsea? I don't think we need them, in my opinion. But I'm not the manager, and I don't know whether to believe this particular report actually. And after that, we'll go
Yeah, I
news
mean,
launching. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
I feel I was one of the first people to start pushing and circulating this and retweeting this on X.
Mhm.
I think it's important that we do. Whether he comes or not is left to be seen. I think Arsenal have a problem. I really do, and we have to highlight that. There's Lewis Skelly, who they're playing in and out. There's Wanyeri. They sent him away. They don't really know what to do with him. And we wanted either of those players. Now, does Otamendi have sufficient game time? Will the game time he'll get in the presence of Guimaraes be affected? I think sometimes a player wants to feel that they are a main player, and we need to put that pressure on Arsenal in that sense. Whether he comes or not is not as important
Another different
as
debate. Yeah.
as the pressure we put on them by our interest. We have a lot of pressure put on us by other clubs thinking they can rattle Chelsea with their interest. I think we should do exactly the same. If the opportunity arises, well, so be it. If it doesn't, then he knows and they know we're lurking, and it will force them into doing something that they perhaps didn't plan to do. I think we should also start harassing them for Lewis Skelly and revisit the Wanyeri conversation. Either one of those players would be far more appreciated at Chelsea than they are at Arsenal. So I'm all for the news. I'll keep circulating the news, and it's the pressure I want more so than anything else. One thing's for sure, Chelsea don't put pressure for nothing. If they have an interest, they have an interest. It's just how much of an interest is the issue. And if Alonso likes him, then I'll say Arsenal, watch out.
All right. I hope we do like them. I'm going to go back to the presentation window. We're going news hunting now. Dante, any other thing you want to talk about before we go to the jungle and hunt?
No, that's all good.
All right, confirmed. Pep Chavarria to Chelsea will be officially announced very soon. I'm happy we signed him, and I hope he convinces Bobby because Bobby is skeptical, and rightly so because he's not a player he knows very
I
well.
do need convincing for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and it's understandable. I understand. Jose Ramon Rodriguez on Chavarria, when he went to the second division, the demand increased and it increased again in the first division. This mentality makes you think that he could reach a higher level. I mean, with a better crop of players surrounding him, I think he'd do a lot better than he did at Vallecano. Brighton chief executive on Danny Welbeck said, we understand the surrounding emotion. We're all emotional about it because Dan is fantastic and has been here for 6 years. We also have to look at it pragmatically with a business eye and also think about Fabian's squad opportunities in the squad in the season ahead. If we had started Danny in the first 4 or 5 games and he broke down, he'd be some okay, and there'd be some people saying, why are you relying on a 36-year-old? Or it's ridiculous, you should have thought about it. All right, Kip Jackson answered the lap. Chinedu Mwezedalo, and thank you for joining. Let's see what happens, Mr. Chinedu. Waking. All right. Marco Palestra says, I know Zola played at Cagliari and at Chelsea. He's a legend, and maybe I can do that. He did what he did at Chelsea. I spoke with David Zappacosta, who I played with, and he also told me good things. A lot of Italian players played here, and I want to be the next top one. Italian players do thrive at Chelsea. I get it, Zappacosta didn't last that much, but he was good. Just that didn't get to play too many games.
Yeah, well,
All
the
right, I
system
think we'll be
changed.
seeing a lot of comments. Yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of comments from Xabi Alonso's presser. Here he says, we need to feel the power to play at home. This is fundamental to have a good season, that whenever we play at home, we feel safe. We know that we know what we want, how we want to play, how we want to compete, because that will transmit it to the fans, and the supporters will transmit it to us. We want to create that strength in Stamford Bridge. I think it's important to make the home a fortress. I think a fortress that will go a long way. The fans has a huge path to play. They must be the 12th man, irrespective of what's happening. But I believe we'll have a good start to the season. And if the fans warm up to the manager quickly, sooner than later, I think it will go a long way.
I have to
Thanks, Bobby.
say, concerning that, if you look at
Mhm,
Chelsea history, in the late, well, certainly in the 50s when they won the league, but in the late
mhm,
60s and a bit of the 70s, Stamford Bridge was an absolute fortress. But there was nothing that touched the swag that Jose Mourinho brought into Stamford Bridge. There was
mhm,
an arrogance, there was a fierceness about it. I think clubs will come to Stamford Bridge and they'll be beaten before they walked out of the tunnel because of the aura of the players, the determination
mhm.
on their faces. You would not beat us at Stamford Bridge. I want to see that come back. You know, we have had a lot of disappointing attitudes and performances in recent times for reasons that we've all discussed. But I hope, and I liked what Alonso said, I hope he brings that back that blood and thunder attitude that you dare not beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. You score, and you can be sure we're coming back. If teams sense that, there's the psychological side of it that helps a lot. All these people that come with their low block and things like that.
Mm,
If you start to now beat them and start to show them that Stamford Bridge is a special place, there's always a fear factor. There was a time Liverpool had it at Anfield. Teams would be beaten just by coming out onto the Anfield pitch. The fans do have a part to play in that, but the fans of yesteryear is not necessarily the fans we have today. The players
mm,
have to make the fans into that sort of cauldron type of attitude when teams come here. And just finally, I remember when Everton was fighting relegation and we played them at Goodison. My goodness me, talk about support. I mean, the fans, that's what defeated us that day. Their support was horrific, and we didn't really have the players. If
mhm.
we had had the Lampards, the Terrys, the Drogbas, they would have thrived under that sort of pressure. But we had a bunch of kids that just folded. But still, they made Goodison that day into a very uncomfortable place to go and play football.
Yeah, Bobby, I think that's one I'm not very too optimistic about, to be honest, because I saw what happened with Maresca after winning the Club World Cup, coming back, still got booze at halftime, coming back, and the atmosphere was horrible. So I'm not so optimistic about. I feel sorry for Alonso, actually. Hopefully, he can somehow get it back going and the players, but unfortunately, a lot of that fan base, especially the small, even it's a small section, it's a very loud section, they're very unhappy, unfortunately, and they're still they're already starting things up already. It's
I think mood have changed. I think the mood
I,
has
I,
changed.
I think it has a bit. I think the fans are
a bit, it
more,
has,
they
yes.
they like, for whatever reason, and they probably have less reason, but
Hmm.
they've taken to Alonso more than they more than they took to Maresca. I think it's the hope of playing a little bit more direct football. Maresca's football wasn't something the fans liked. It's like Sari. When Sari came with his Sari ball, they didn't like it.
Yeah,
It was
Bobby, but
effective.
we're gonna play possession ball with Alonso as well.
Still, yeah,
So
but more vertical than Enzo
Yeah,
Maresca's.
exactly. I mean, it's left to be seen. All I want is winning football, to be honest. I don't
More
really care
importantly.
whether it's
Mhm.
pleasing to the eye to some extent. But
I
I
think it
think
matters for this fan base, to be honest. It does. It wasn't enough Maresca winning with that type of football. It just wasn't enough.
Go
well
ahead,
we'll
Bobby.
see. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I always stick up for this fan base. I don't think they are quite as bad. There were many issues there that was uh, that led to things happening. I mean, some of the games that were lost, things like what happened in Man United, the way he folded when we went down to 10 men. There were lots of things. Chelsea Chelsea fans are very supportive of of a diehard sort of attitude. That's why they like people like what's the name of that German kid? Oh, the striker.
Werner.
Werner. Werner was a trier. It was an awful player, but he was a trier. He would keep going from beginning to end.
Like Pedro Neto, you
Sometimes
mean?
Like
Neto's
Pedro
another
Neto,
one,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
Neto does things that rile the fans in that sometimes he'll take the ball all the way into offensive positions, and like him and Gusto, they get there rather than penetrating, they start going backwards. It's things like that Maresca instilled in the team that annoyed the fans. This idea of playing Sanchez to his weakness and getting him to play out from the back. is another thing that annoyed the fans. The fans like to. I've been at Chelsea when they've lost a game, but the way they played to lose that game, the fans cheered them from beginning to end. So I think a lot will depend on the kind of team Alonso puts out. Pochettino, Chelsea fans didn't particularly care for Pochettino. His Spurs background was irritating, especially to people like me. But his football was exciting. You could never take that away from him. And very often he had the fans on the edge of their seats. I wouldn't like to believe at this early stage that Alonso will rile the fans. But however, I think it's very important how he starts. He needs to win. That's the
Yeah.
language of football. And after the
If he
season,
wins, winning makes a difference. If he wins, I
oh,
think that
very
will
much so.
help. Yeah.
Especially
Uh,
after the season we've had. You know, the fans have been humiliated. Do you know how big a club Chelsea is to have been humiliated the way Rosinia did? 5 consecutive 3-0 losses. It has never happened at Chelsea, even in our worst. So, you know, we need to pick the fans up again. And unfortunately, that can only come through the pitch.
yeah. All right. There isn't much out there, but we're gonna get a few before we call it a day. And here, Palestra on Rhys James, he says he wrote to me when I joined Chelsea. It was a beautiful message, and he said hi, and I said hi to him when he came to Cobham one day after the World Cup. I know he's a good guy, a good captain, so I cannot wait to play with him. Also, I'm very happy. I know that he's a good guy. That's a good captain right there. The good captain right there. Yeah. Marco Palestra says, before I played in midfield, but I changed the position to left back or at the back. So I understand that I am quick. When I was young, I am the slowest. It's crazy, crazy things. All right. They use a translation software there. All right. Marco Palestra says that there were some clubs that wanted me, but Chelsea, the first moment they wanted me, I agree because they are one of the biggest club in the world. Arsenal fans are not going to like that one, but yeah. They play in the Premier League, which is the best league in the world. I am excited to come to Chelsea and start here and play with the teammates Xavi and all sorts of staff. Marco Palestra says, see, Alonso told me that he wanted what he wanted from me, his ideas and other things, not only football. It was good conversation about everything. So I was happy with him. Alonso is a serious good leader and must be a good speaker too. He likes me because he sees a lot of games from me. He likes my flexibility and because I can play on the right, the left, lower and high. Okay. I don't want to listen to that again. Any other thing to address here? Pep Chavarria's coach at Zaragoza says when he was with us in Zaragoza, and there was a time when the team was not doing well, at all. He was the player who took on the responsibility of wanting to improve or wanting to do the right things, of never making excuses.
Can I say one
Mentality.
thing, Coach? Just to
Mm-hmm.
digress. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the home-based Chelsea fans have been very impressed and appreciative of the fans abroad. You know, we know we always get a good reception, but the Australians and the people from Hong Kong have really shown that there is hardcore support out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how obviously because they don't get the opportunities we have, you know, they thirst when the players are there so they can actually see them in the flesh. And this is, I know everybody's going to hate me for this, but this is the one thing about that European Super League idea that is almost a pity because it was an idea that was predicated on teams playing games in
Mm-hmm.
different parts of the world. And a couple of home games in Australia and Hong Kong wouldn't go amiss to those fans there because they will come out in their droves. But that's a that's a hypothetical. But
Mhm.
their support. I remember that back in the day when we went to China, and we had one of our players suspended for being silly. That Brazilian kid we had, Def
Kennedy,
Kennedy. Yeah, he did some silly things and offended them. But their fan base, oh my God, you
huge,
know,
huge.
it
Mhm.
was massive. We went into one stadium and 80,000 pure. It was all Chelsea. And that's very encouraging to the players. You see them,
Mhm.
Sanchez and things. They're like, wow, it helps them on the when fans appreciate them. And just to allude to what has been said earlier, some of our fans, the way we unnecessarily target some players, I think it needs to stop unnecessarily. When they're absolutely dreadful, then of course. But when it's a paltry thing that they do here and there, I think it's excessive. We target certain people, and they become the object of hate.
hmm Chelsea FC is a global brand, a huge brand. It is as big as it is, not necessarily because of a particular portion of the fan base, but yeah, it has a global following, huge numbers. A lot of Nigerians I know. Lagos, a lot of Nigerian supporters in Lagos, Kenya, Zambia, a lot of them. I look at my channel stats and I see, wow, this club is huge. It's seriously a global brand. Pep Chavarria's coach at Zaragoza, Jose Ramon Rodriguez, says he was a player who sacrificed himself a lot, who liked to train a lot. His way of training never let him down. He would always give maximum. I'm happy. He become definitely a much better player when he joins the squad. Marco Palestra says, I am sure that if we follow the idea of Xavi Alonso and improve every day, we can have a big season because Chelsea is one of the biggest, best teams in the world. So it's normal for Chelsea. Nothing new. Is the level we want to play at. And Vic, my bro, I want to say thank you for the 100 Jews. I didn't see it in time, but I appreciate that, even though I don't like you, but I always appreciate the gifts from you. Zubimendi and Osimen, get this done. I will forget preseason results. You can stick with preseason results. That's up to you. I need one mask man. I wouldn't mind. Again, if we want Osimhen, get him for him if we can. Nkunku and Pulisic and Tomori playing against us tomorrow. Tomori again, once again tomorrow. But nothing new here. Javier Alonso, when asked about managing the big squad, he says we have a plan for sure. We have an idea how we want to start the Premier League. Now, it's context of a preseason and that some players that will be with us at the moment are not here, but we have an idea how we want to finish and start the Premier League. So I'm not concerned about the size of the squad. Anybody else on the panel and anything else you guys want us to talk about before we call it a day?
I was just noticing we're talking about Enzo to Man City. Well, they signed that Buwadi kid. Did you see for how much, coach?
How much?
115 million pounds.
So Eze isn't happening. Enzo Fernandez to Man City will not happen.
Why are they paying 115 million pounds to a guy first season in professional football at 18 years
I'm
of
not
age?
sure.
That is
I'm not sure,
ridiculous.
really. I'm not sure. Not even euros, but pounds.
Pounds.
Yeah, I'm. That's a lot of money. I'm not sure. So they're not going to sign Enzo Fernandez, even if we say, okay, we'll let him go for 80. They won't. They've
Well, they
spent too
they
much
they
this window.
they started this inflating the prices with Elliot Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
116 now 115 for this kid. Chelsea definitely have to hold their price
Well,
if
that
they
Mm-hmm.
means
want.
Enzo's worth 200 easy. He's had two
Yeah,
World Cup finals. He's an experienced Premier League player. Buwadi's played one World Cup and a couple of games there, and one season.
But you get Bobby's point though. They were the one that started. They were the one that spoiled the market. Yeah.
That's
So
stupid, man. That's stupid now. That's ridiculous for an
well,
Go ahead,
18
Bobby.
year old.
they've shot themselves in the foot if they want Enzo, because there ain't no way Chelsea's going to let him go for less than 120, even
A
more.
World Cup winner, and
Yeah.
that's a Club World Cup
Even Gusto
winner,
or Neto, to
and
be
then
honest.
made it to the
Well,
final of this current World Cup. And
well,
then if you paid, yeah,
they've set Gusto's price, that's for sure. It's I know, sometimes in this modern market, to get what you want, you have to
mhm.
flex some financial muscle. But I don't know. I guess as a Chelsea fan, we can't really judge it, but it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for somebody that's
It's
not.
too much.
Yeah, but I mean, for that kid, no one's going to pay, even if they have competition, no one's paying more than 50, 60, worst case, I think. Why do they need to go another 60 on top of that? I just don't understand. That's crazy money.
Yeah.
There you go. So
All
that's
right.
over
Yeah, he did
200
say,
million in midfield.
yeah. If you want
That's
Enzo
250
Fernandez,
million.
pay up. Yeah, we're not gonna sell him even for 80, 90 million.
We
Yeah,
can't. We'd be stupid to now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They started it all. They better be ready. All right. With that, we've come to the natural end of this particular edition of the Blue Morning Show. Thank you to all of you that found the time to be part of the conversation. Thank you to Ahize, Uche, Dalwande, and thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Mabast, aka MBO5, thank you for joining. And CE5757, CE, I don't know whether that's a code word. Thank you for joining. And Vic, my bro, thank you for joining. Nemaya Fowler was also here. Jay was also on the panel. And on the panel, we have our senior panelist in Bobby and the captain of the community in Constantine Dunn. And if I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all and cheers.
Cheers, guys. By the way, that could be fake. So then I might be joking.
Oh, that could be fake? Okay. Just warning. Okay. If they pay that much money, they're in trouble. But still, they ruined the market.
Oh, it's ruined because of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand. Rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up the stand. I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up high, voice up loud. Same old pride, same crowd. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Yeah. Ooh. Blue till the end, blue till the end. Loyalty stays even through the storm. From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand. Rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the